And I'm Aiden. Hello. Hey guys, look, we got an opening this week and everything. Good job, Spoon. That was great.
Yeah, so I'm always muted during all of that.
You were?
Yeah.
What the fuck? You're joking.
Yeah, it's because the stupid button thingy,
You did. Oh my gosh. You did this whole opening thing and now I once again look schizophrenic. It's like I'm talking to
No, you
myself.
just said one thing, so that's fine.
And I'm Aiden. It implies there should be something that precedes it. Hello,
Yeah.
guys. I was like, oh yeah, we're looking professional today. Turned out
I knew that was gonna happen because I keep hitting the control key when I'm working the bloody Maya thing.
oh fuck.
I can just share on the screen so people can see what the hell I'm actually doing. Hold on.
Oh, Spoon is working on rendering things.
I'm doing this thing. I don't know why. Don't judge me for doing gay things like interior design, because...
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because here's something that I
Right.
like doing. I actually like interior design. I like colors and architecture. Much to several people's dismay, because I said I like some modern architecture, because I do. And then someone sent me a picture of a cube of a house. Like, is this your ideal house? Like, no, it's not. It's just a cube. Cool, is the one to send me that. I went, no, that's not my ideal house. And I like Art Deco. Art Deco looks really cool.
I like Art Deco,
It appeals
but
to my nature of being very angular and stiff, but somehow still being artistic and very like technically gladiatorial, because some of the architecture is really very like ballsy, and it appeals to
thinking
my
about balls and being stiff. I feel like this conversation is going somewhere in particular. There's something you want to tell us.
why did
About
you have
your
to make
stiff
this gay?
balls.
I did want to put something in one of my in the background
Balls?
for this. No, it was actually like it is a giant male torso with wings. And I went, this is a really cool thing. There's only one problem. It's called the Wings of the Republic, and that actually is gay. So I didn't want to... I could probably model that. It's not very detailed, actually. I think it's actually... It's a real statue. I think it's somewhere in Colorado, I want to say. Hang on, where's the Wings of the Republic? Let me see.
And where? What are you asking about?
The Wings of the
Oh,
Republic.
I don't know
Let
where
me
that's
see.
at.
Wings of the Republic. Just... No, it's in Hoover. It's in Hoover Dam. Really? No, that's not it. No, the Wings of the Republic statue. Fucking hell. Wings of the Republic and I get chicken wings. That says a lot. It really is an American fucking website, isn't it? Yeah, that. That looks freaking cool. Actually, that's a better one.
It does look pretty cool.
Yeah. The wings are a bit weird. It looks more like someone just took the warp tool and fucking Photoshop and just went like up. Again, yeah. I feel like this is something you would see in Bioshock. Except, you know,
Yeah,
Bioshock hates government, yeah. Kind of the whole point about Rapture, except it went off the rails when people started getting drugs that can make them shoot lightning and fire. Yeah, it turns out not very well to the population of people who don't have any rules. We have no moral values because we don't have any religious kind of connotations to hold the entire ship together. So we'll just splash ourselves up to the eyeballs and execute people. Yeah. I had a conversation with Scrump about that, and it's essentially that the big problem with objectivism there's no moral. The moral is be self-centered. Yeah, that's all well and good, but your sense of right or wrong needs to be grounded in some kind of morality, which in this case it is not. It's just like, well, you're just presupposing it based on Western values, and Western values come from Christianity. Well, we hate God, but like, okay, you're gonna have to reconcile some things here because your positions are not gelling all that well. How the hell do I type in Wings of the Republic and I get a statue of Deathwing?
I've fucking gotten off my train of thought. Oh, seeing someone's bitching about before we started the show. We do actually have a show for you put together.
No, we don't. That's a total lie.
My particular bitch, like, while you were talking about Art Deco, I totally forgot, was I just read that I didn't even know they were making a Blue Beetle TV show. I guess
How does that? What does that have to do with Art Deco?
Nothing. It was just
okay, that's really weird. It's a very weird segue. I'm like, what?
It was a terrible segue, but it was mine. Okay, just because I happened to see the suit for the Blue Beetle show. Here, look at this. Pull this up. This is Jamie, pull that up. Well, where the fuck did it go? God damn it. It's so bad looking. Oh, did they delete this?
What am I pulling up?
Hang on, Christ. Oh man, I wasn't preparing for this. But where's this fucking costume? It's so bad. I mean,
Oh,
Jesus
I want to
Christ.
pull. I want to pull this up.
It is cosplay, dude. Okay. Oh, Spoon and I both talked about this staircase.
Yes.
And we both, like totally independently
Or stairs. I don't
expressed
actually
that
know
we
if it's
thought it was
yeah.
that we thought it was kind of scary, and we were both afraid that it would like eat.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
I
I'm
looked at it and
afraid
went
I'm
like,
gonna get
this is a
eaten by
really
it.
cool looking staircase, but it does terrify me. It does look really scary. It does look it's just gonna devour me. It's just at the very bottom. This
I mean,
kind
if
of
it's
reminds me of an
something that
airport.
again, if it's just thought that you and I both had at the same time, it's like, okay, I think there's got to be some reason why it's got to be something about its
It's very
design. Oh,
metallic
here it
looking.
is.
It's very machine-like.
Yeah,
It
I think
does
that's
look
it.
like something straight out of Bioshock.
Be an escalator, but it's
Yes.
not an escalator.
It's just a staircase, but it does look terrifying. It does look more machine-like than an actual escalator now that I'm looking at it.
Pull up this fucking picture for a second so I can bitch about it. I posted
Which one?
it in the chat of the design for Blue Beetle. It's so bad, my dude. Unbelievable.
Why does it look
Holy
like the column, the Combine from the Half-Life 2?
dude, this makes. I mean, look. Like, this makes the average one-off Common Rider villain look like
This is
fucking
like if the LGBT
high
did
art.
Power Rangers.
It looks like a Power Ranger kind of design. That's why I said Kamen Rider, but like, oh my god, it's so bad. And I really, really love Blue Beetle, and I like Jaime Reyes a lot. I mean, I
It's
love Ted Cord, the boy forever.
it,
I also love Jaime Reyes, and what the
it
fuck
looks
is
like
this?
a gay Power Ranger.
Yeah.
He looks more like he's gonna go scuba diving than fight crime. And also, you know
You
what
know,
you know what it actually
it
reminds me of? It looks like a gay version of the collectors uh
to be
uh
fair, it
in
is
Mass Effect.
actually is an alien that has it's like that is not parasite. What's the right way of saying it? A symbiote that
Symbiotic? Or
yeah, it's a
symbiote.
symbiote.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's attached to his spine, and it turns into the suit, you know, to protect him and stuff. So it is alien technology, but they made it look so weird. I don't know. It just looks awful. I hate it.
You know, I probably wouldn't find it so bad if you got rid of the rib cage claw thing on the side, because it just looks cumbersome and unnecessary. The rest of it's not so bad. I mean, I kind of like the scaly look,
I hate
but
it.
the bit on the side makes me go, why?
I
Maybe there's
totally
something behind that's clamping on it. That makes sense for it, but that just immediately draws my eye and go, that looks uncomfortable. Like if you're breathing, it's just gonna puncture you.
I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, not a fan. Sorry.
I hate it.
Giving me
Anywho, so that there was some garbage to start the show. Delicious garbage.
yeah.
Oh, wait, can I tell you one more bit of garbage that happened today before we get into actual news? Because it's really funny.
Which is?
Did you see that Ethan Ralph got beat up in Portugal again?
What, again?
Yes. I know. I can't believe it. He went back to Portugal for some reason.
Please tell me he got beat up in the same place.
It's in Lisbon, so it's the same city, but I mean, Lisbon's.
God, why, you dumbass?
But this time it was by the friend of a cognitive thought, I think, of another YouTuber. So he did not start the fight this time. Well, he did actually start it. They were following around and recording him. And they were following around and recording him. Someone told him, I guess, on his stream, because he's walking around streaming himself. They're following him, streaming it. I guess, or something like that. And then he goes around a corner. They're just standing there, like, watching. And then he's like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And he walks around the corner and starts trying to like grab the phone and stuff. So the YouTube. And then the Cog's friend just and then like punched the shit out of him. Then like he got up, started chasing them. They're like, "Let's leave, let's leave." Friend punches him again. He goes down both times, falls to the ground. Then same thing. They're like, "Let's get the fuck out," and they start to leave. now a second time. Ralph gets back up, chases them again, punched Anne on the floor, third time, and then I do think they got arrested, by the way, but how? I'm like, dude, how do you manage this? How do you manage to get beaten up in Portugal twice in the same year? Ah! Sorry, it just tickled me.
I'm hoping it's by the same people, because that's just adding to the funny.
No, it was no. Last time it was a random dude. This time it was Cognitive Thought's friend. Oh my goodness. What a weird, strange world. I So, speaking of which,
You can
shall
choose
we?
what to start with, by the way.
What would you like to start with? I don't know.
I think the Henry Kissinger thing is pretty funny.
Let's start with the Kissinger stuff.
Yeah, because Kissinger came out and basically said, yeah, Ukraine, you need to cede this territory to Russia because this is going to escalate horribly and you're just never going to get it back. This is very dumb. And the fact that so many people went, oh my God, a warmongering psychopath is not advocating for war. What the fuck is going on? I'm not surprised that he said that because he said in the 1990s with George Kennan, yeah, this is a really stupid idea, don't expand NATO.
Here's
and now he appears to be the clairvoyant. It's like, yeah, we told you this would happen, you fucking morons.
Yeah.
You know when Henry Kissinger says, don't do war? That's very bizarre.
Maybe
when it's
When
like George Bush saying, don't invade more countries. It's like,
I know.
huh.
He said negotiations need to begin in the next 2 months before it creates upheaval and tensions that will not be easily overcome. Ideally, the dividing line should be a return to the status quo ante. Pursuing the war beyond that point would not be about freedom of Ukraine, but a new war against Russia itself. So yeah, which by the way, you and I were saying, and George Kennan said decades ago, and you and I were saying, when this started, which is not to say, I know the immediate response is, so you're saying just let Russia run roughshod all over the world. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that I don't really think, first of all, this is not the U.S.'s war at all.
No.
The reason it's gotten to where it is in part
because of the West, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not our war. It's no, and to get involved is going to mean continual involvement with war with Russia. I think that's unquestionable. He won't stop there,
I love when people say, oh, look, he's going to reestablish the Soviet Union. No, he isn't.
Oh my God.
No, he isn't.
Dude.
He's not going to reestablish the Soviet. It's just
I don't
dumb.
think so.
Yeah, no one believes that, and well, no sane person believes that because there's a lot of insane people that think, "Oh my God, he's gonna restart the Soviet Union with you and what fucking army, Putin?" Wait, so wait. By the way, some of those countries are NATO territories now. You're telling me he's going to fight NATO and beat all of NATO?
Yeah, I guess it's
just shut up, man. I'm so sick of people who peddle this argument. Like, you're dumb. Just shut up. I don't want to hear your opinion. You're dumb.
Nothing's gonna like that. Yeah, that's not happening. It's politically illiterate, but it's very scary and it's entertaining, isn't it? Oh, that'll get people talking for a couple months to ignore that COVID thing. Wait, we don't have to worry about getting rid of the COVID issue anymore. Spoon, do you know why?
Because monkeypox.
Because we've got monkeypox now.
It just sounds like a meme.
A new disease just dropped.
I'm African. I'm not scared of monkey shit. Literally.
Of monkey shit?
No, anything to do with monkeys. Oh my God, there's so many race jokes I could make. But no, I'm not remotely bothered by it, for heaven's sakes. For heaven's sake, the population back home are far more dangerous than the monkeys. That's not a joke, by the way. That's just factually accurate.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we've got. Okay, I do think that. I don't know, the Ukraine stuff. I don't think the West has any actual interest, not serious interest. It's always since the beginning of this 3 months ago has been performative. Of we better we better do a big display to show how mad we are at Russia and how we're totally gonna do something.
I have a theory about that.
About what?
About why there's this clamoring with the Ukraine and Russia.
What's that?
I think if you look at the Great Reset, because of that whole climate change crap, which is obviously a fucking hoax. That's a pile of bollocks. Russia has a lot of natural gas and oil. That is how they make their money. That is how the state is funded. So if a whole bunch of countries just say, yeah, we're not a fan of buying your shit anymore, Russia's going to go, no, 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 fuck you. We're going to sell it to someone because this is how we make money. So, and I can't remember who it was at the party at Davos thing. They said, this is going to be a great transition, but don't. Basically, they just said, don't get any ideas. Like, please don't go back to the old ways, which makes it sound like it's voluntary. And if you have a whole bunch of countries, there's one fucker who can ruin you by saying, if you are all going to voluntarily cripple your economy, I'm not going to cripple mine and just say, fuck you, I'm going to sell a shitload of fossil fuels and get money. And I feel like that is Russia's goal, because Vladimir Putin is looking at this like, no, 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 I'm not buying this shit. Fuck off. I'm not going to cripple my country. This is how we make money. So they're just allying with Belarus and all these other countries just to get money.
Look at what the fuck the West has done over the last 2 years involving COVID to completely cripple ourselves. Seemingly intentionally. We have crippled our own economies. And destroyed our infrastructure. Particularly involving natural gas, you know.
You see, Macron is still buying Russia's fossil fuels.
He doesn't really have a choice.
Oh my goodness, I would love if Putin just strong-armed the whole of the EU. Oh my god, it would be funny. It would be really, really funny to see them just being held like they need to kiss Putin's arms.
Two choices. They're either going to have to get it from Russia or they're going to have to get it from the Middle East, pretty much.
Or so the United States, because the United States want to sell the liquid natural gas.
The US doesn't have shit to fucking sell anymore.
Well, no, not if they're producing the stupid things.
No, we're importing it, so, you know. Goddamn. 3 of 12 says
but yeah, the homosexual thing, I've seen a lot of people with a gayness.
And also the Void That Bites for 10 says, this is Putin's Tsushima. I'm willing to bet money that he will be Epsteined or shipped to The Hague unless there's underlying agreement behind the entire war. Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
He's not going anywhere.
I don't think he's gonna go anywhere, but it is possible. And Renegade for 5 says, first bird flu, then pig flu, bat illness, and now monkey sickness. What's next? Actually, monkeypox is not new, but it sure is strange, right? I have some information on it that we'll get into in a little bit. Was there anything else to cover? Because there was something else. Oh, no, yeah, here we go.
Basically, the reason I think that they want to control Russia's basically power, because it's very obvious. Like I said this before, I said this in a video. If you make any nation, the two most important things you need, or two of the most important things, is you need defense and you need energy. And if you outsource these things to other nations, those nations have you by the balls. They have influence over you. So if the United States were to leave at the end of the Soviet collapse, and they leave the region, what is going to happen is the military that leaves is going to leave the influence of Russia open, because Russia will sell them energy. And that is why the Americans go, oh my god, we need to be in the region, because if we sell them a whole bunch of crap, Russia is instantly going to restart the Soviet Union and conquer all of Europe. That is the bullshit argument from the maniacal, power-hungry fucking Western powers, because America is an empire of evil. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Americans go, oh, look, we're so good for the world. No, you're not. You're a bunch of bastards. You fucking knock over dictators left, right, and center, and then you do business with despots. Like, fuck off.
I just hate that idea of, well, we're morally superior, so we should be allowed to rule the world, essentially.
Yeah, that's the Adam and Stitch argument, which I don't buy for a second. I think that's just a bunch of claptrap.
I don't know if that's exactly their argument. It did come off that way sometimes.
No, that is their argument. Because whenever I mentioned, like, look at the stupid shit you guys do when you have power, like knocking off dictators. You knocked off the whole Libya is because of the United States.
Yeah.
Iraq is a shit show because of the United States. So giving this crap of like, oh, what aboutism? You fuck up entire regions, or you occupy it for 20 fucking years, waste billions of dollars, and then fuck off. You're not a moral nation. You're a bunch of shit stirrers, literally, for your own fucking gain, because you get money from military contracts.
Yeah, obviously.
And that's what this entire thing is about. That and money laundering. The Ukraine operation is money laundering. They're using Ukrainians
Oh
as
yeah.
cannon fodder to weaken Russia. That's it. And anyone who disagrees with me on that is an idiot. Like that is what you
Well,
do.
I mean, also we've been, whatever people really want to think about it. I think that if you do not know the amount of the number of fingers that the U.S. has had in Ukraine for the last entirety of its existence as an independent country, so 32 years. If you if you're not aware of how much bullshit has been going on for 3 decades in that country by American politicians, even though I mean I did a video, I went over it, some of it, not even all of it. It's way more than what because it wasn't the point of the video was just be like, hey, look at all the Americans been explicitly just about that part. It was part of it. If you don't think that the U.S. That these U.S. oligarchs, United States and British oligarchs and Western
Pretty much any fucker with money.
super rich, wealthy politicians, politicos, et cetera. If you don't know the number of fingers that they've had in Ukraine for all this time, and that's why part of this fucking shit is happening, then you just don't know anything about the fucking scenario to begin with. This is clearly a proxy war for other shit. We know now, and we'll find out more about. We'll talk about it today. That it's come out that they've all been, using these post-Soviet countries to
Arthur
pull
says,
off.
"Give me a single state even close to American morality." Britain.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Britain colonized and civilized the entire world. America does not do civilizations. They fuck over civilizations.
I don't care.
Give me a single example
Look,
of American democracy
okay,
installation aside from Western
I
Germany that
don't
actually took hold.
I don't give a fuck. Japan. That's what they're gonna say, but Japan Japan was utterly defeated. Utterly. They got nuked.
America tries to do social engineering at the end of a gun. That
Um,
is literally what they do, and the Americans are shit for that. I don't give a fuck about America's morality. America does not have morality. Like, look at their fucking country. Don't tell me they have morality. That's a fucking joke.
well, I mean, we're currently having issues dealing with all of the transgender kids.
Yes, exactly.
We got to make sure to cut the
And their
dicks off
foreign
of
policy is a joke.
4-year-olds.
America's foreign policy is do what we say or else we're going to kick the shit out of you. You're basically extortion. So I don't know how the hell America is in any way moral. It is not moral, it is an evil empire masquerading as a form of good because we spread democracy, which is a
Look, I'll
crackpot
say
load of
this.
shit.
Let's say even if it did work, I'll give it to you. Let's say okay, so America did it. We can say in Germany and in Japan, right? Which we conquered and utterly. So we installed democracies in places that we had
The Britain
pretty
of Asia.
that we had utterly defeated, right? Particularly Japan. Japan was, I mean, after you drop nukes, you don't come back from that.
Yeah, no.
Not quickly, at least.
Uh,
Although they did
no,
astonishingly
not for a
quick.
couple of decades either. That's still remnants of that.
But
Yeah.
unless you've completely destroyed, and even then, so the times that it's worked, democracies have been installed someplace by an external force, and they have lasted for any period of time that we can see, it's pretty much those two. And
And they also had
relative.
democracy beforehand. That's the thing. You can't install
Uh,
democracy in a
yeah.
country that is never tangled with the
There were
concept.
elements of of democracy
Yeah.
in Germany and
Look at my own
Japan.
country. It's a shit show.
I know which
It
one.
does not what the one where I was born, not where I live.
Oh,
Fucking
okay.
hell, Ireland doesn't have any bloody democracy. Like they're
I
they're a
didn't
vassal state of the EU. They're a bunch of simps.
I didn't know if you meant Ireland or South Africa.
No, in South Africa, the democracy in South Africa is an absolute fucking farce.
God.
I would say like no, never give those people any say in government. They're completely imbecilic. They do not have the capacity to run a stable government. You need someone with a pair of balls that is above the politics. You need an absolute monarch. Like Mulbach said this in one of his earliest writings. That
Yeah.
South Africa is like the worst place, the last place in the world you should install democracy. That place does need effective government, and it's not
That
a
book I always
democracy.
that book I brought up several times, the Into the Cannibal's Pot. I mean, she goes over that really explicitly. That nobody is here being like, "Yay, apartheid," right? but
Mm,
but it worked better than the democracy, and she talks
yes.
about it in that book about how like the democracy was people there wasn't like a good a call for it from the people in the way that it was sort of like that was a little bit of an external societal level pressure of
Here's the problem
put
with
in.
that, right? Is you can look. Okay, here's the God's honest truth about apartheid in South Africa. It is literally better in every single way except for the human rights violations. That is it.
Yeah, it is
Like
a human rights violation.
it is superior in every other capacity. When it comes to military,
Oh,
when it comes to the currency, when it comes to education, it is superior in every single other way. They're like, oh, but human rights violations are bad, and therefore we must rip the entire system to shreds and install it with something that gives everyone the perception of freedom. Meanwhile, you just get a massively corrupt fucking government that stays in power forever due to the demographics of the country. And be like, yay, this is an improvement. No, it isn't. I know black people in South Africa who would prefer the apartheid, who've openly said they would prefer the apartheid regime because the apartheid regime had order and safety, and that doesn't exist now. And the country was stable. That should tell you something when black people who were like, you were openly segregated, it's like, we prefer that.
I mean, again, it's like a really difficult thing to say because obviously,
yeah, the human rights is the first thing that comes to mind.
Is ethically is unethical, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But it's
Everyone
effective.
can agree with that. But unfortunately, yeah, it was effective at making the country stable.
Yeah, like
Which,
Mulbach said, if you only give the middle class or upper class white educated people the vote, you elect more stable, sane governments. Like, yeah, who'd have thought? Yeah, no shit. And also, there was the main reason people didn't like it is because they were very anti-communist, the apartheid regime.
Yeah.
So if you are against apartheid, you're a commie. Yeah, yeah. How you settle that one now, you bunch of bitches? Let's see you piss and moan about my country now.
Oh my.
They're like, oh fuck, this puts me in a very difficult position. I'm either a white supremacist or I'm a communist. Yeah, take your pick.
Right. We just got off the Ukraine topic, which is basically the same thing. It's not like
I'll take the white supremacy all damn day.
well, I mean, it's such a that's such a bizarre thing of like,
Someone's gonna quote me for saying that out of context.
I know, but I mean, so many people being like, "There's what do you? This is a Fox News fake hoax, fake news that there's white supremacists and neo Nazis in Ukraine."
And then NATO posts pictures of it on fucking Twitter, like, yeah, look, they're right there.
It's been overblown. They are good Nazis. It's like, oh my god. And then of course the bizarre position, which is to be like, for both of us, which is be like, well, I don't, I don't in any way approve of this invasion, but at the same time, watching all the fake news about the entire thing makes you go like, I don't know, maybe just because after so many years of constant actual fake fucking news being sold to us under the guise of it's the truth, we swear for sure, we'll totally correct it in 6 months. But yeah, it makes you kind of go fuck, I think in this situation I'm more on Putin's side, which is also, and again, outside of the reasons you could actually argue for it, if for no other reason than because, well, you lie about everything else, don't you? Mainstream news. What a bizarre situation to be in, though. I never think of myself.
Boy who cried wolf on steroids.
Right.
That to me is a shady situation, to be honest. I don't mean the whole Putin thing. It's just that you lie so fucking much, and then somebody go, "Oh, look!" Like even if the Ukrainians were winning, which I don't fucking believe for a single bloody second.
Oh, they're walking back a lot of those claims that they made before.
Yeah, because they look fucking moronic.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I don't know how the news media has any fucking credibility. Like I don't get it. Like I look at them and go like, how do people still listen to you? Like you lie so bloody often. Did you see the one that did a couple of days ago about George Floyd? They said George Floyd was shot. It's like
what?
Yeah, the Washington Post said that.
The Washington Post said George Floyd was shot?
Yes. Whoa. You didn't see this?
No.
It was all over Twitter. It was like, this is how badly I think it was Dave Rubin I saw tweet. He's like, this is how badly they lie. They can openly say George Floyd was shot. Everyone knows he wasn't shot.
Yeah, Washington Post deletes tweet that George Floyd was shot by police.
Yeah, there you go. Washington Post. Washington Post. Bezos, you need to fire some people who work at your fucking gig, man. That's fucking embarrassing, too.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't have to care. This is the thing. I know I've said
but
this.
But that's really bad lying. Like, dude, like This was worldwide news.
Yeah.
You it's the worst thing ever to lie about.
My God. I mean, but here's the thing, right? Here's actually, I've done several videos on this. And I've talked about it a lot in other contexts. This um, priming, framing, and specifically the recency versus latency effect. Um, and that is primacy versus recency, excuse me. And that is that when the news media lies, we are far more likely to remember what we've seen or read first
The first time,
than what
yeah.
we've seen or read more recently. So they can basically just put out something that's a complete fucking lie. And then they can put out as many corrections as they want. The reality is people will continue to remember the thing they read first. Even when they have been explicitly told, no, don't believe that. That was a lie. We fucked up. They'll continue to believe it. That's on purpose. I think they know that. I don't think this is all that this kind of stuff is a mistake. They know because they want to put that out into the ether to get more people to believe that George Floyd was shot by police. I mean, who knows why?
Do you ever read shit like that, like read your own studies and feel? I'm trying to say this without sounding arrogant, that you are above people because you know this shit, and you're like, holy crap, how do people fall for this? And you're a news junkie, so maybe that's the
I
reason
don't
why.
know. Yeah,
Because half the
but
crap
still.
that I see, first of all, I stopped reading the news for like
I
a
mean,
couple of weeks now.
what have you been doing your videos on?
Well,
I watched
mainly,
one the other day. What was it about?
well, I did one yesterday. I actually uploaded it and I realized there was no video, which is
What?
really, really weird. Yeah, I uploaded it and I clicked on the video and it was only a second long. And I went, what the
Weird.
fuck? And then a whole bunch of people, I looked at like Rumble and BitChute and people just said, Spoon, are you drunk? You literally, there's no video on
Hell,
this. I
were
went,
you?
oh shit, yeah, there literally is no video. Sorry about that. And then I had to do the whole bloody video again and uploaded it and then there we go. And yeah, I basically just took, there's something that sticks to the video on as well, where someone said the right wing is taking over homeschooling, and or the evangelical Christian right, and I went, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then they linked in the article some guy's name, Rush. Rusas Rashduni was his name. Which I remember that because I thought the name was quite badass. That's a pretty
Hmm.
spiffy name, and he apparently tried to he made schools that morphed into homeschooling in the 1960s, and this was to usher in a theocratic government, which was clearly very successful, by the way, because that's exactly what you have. You have a very
We
religious,
do have a
godlike
theocratic
government
government.
right now. Yeah, yeah. The dollar is the thing they worship, not fucking God. But I just went like, this is absurd. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. First of all, because you mentioned this guy made the homeschooling, so they didn't take over the homeschooling; they made it, for heaven's sakes. And secondly, this is a bit that I don't get, is if they made it, they're not taking over it. They're the originators of the stupid thing. And
Yeah.
and most people, because they say like, I hate how what they will do is they will say this thing was founded based on this thing, and therefore this is what the entire line of the reasoning is. Like anyone who still gravitates towards this thing carries with them the original intent of the movement, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous and makes absolutely no sense. Because the comparison that I used was abortion, because you are all screaming, "Oh, abortion is now women's rights." Like you place Planned Parenthood, who originally was founded by a pro-white eugenicist.
Margaret Sanger.
Yes, so like I get the feeling things can change, or you're just full of shit and you just go with the whims and wishes of your own ideological goals.
They always rewrite history. I mean,
Yeah, they're
I
inconsistent. No shit.
well, no, well, like one of the things of being like, we're the party of, we're the Democrats. We've always been against, we've always been for freedom, and we've always been for
No, you haven't.
civil rights. And it's like, yeah, except in the party of slavery. No, 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 no. Oh, that was really the
Mm.
Republicans pretending to be there. It's like just admit, okay? Just admit to it instead of lying and trying to rewrite fucking history. All right?
You call black people who don't agree with you sellout coons, and I've seen more than my fair share of white liberals say the N word to
And they
black
do
people
that
if they don't believe that shit.
so much. Holy crap. Well, I guess I could go on this diversion somewhat of the topic because I haven't really talked to you about it. I piss off the rainbow people on Twitter
Well done.
pretty bad.
That's
I
impressive.
mean, like over 1,000 responses on Twitter.
You got over
And
a thousand responses?
Yeah, they were, and it was getting like hundreds of retweets where people were just retweeting, calling me a retard, which I didn't know a word that you could say on Twitter, but
Oh, I've called
apparently
people
if you put
retarded
a
a fair few
rainbow,
times.
but if you put a rainbow flag and a trans flag in your Twitter profile, you can call people fucking anything you want. That's just what I was thinking about the N-word thing. Because I think you could probably drop N-bombs all over Twitter so long as you got that trans flag in your name. I was shocked at what they can get away with. It's like if I tweeted any of this shit, I'd be banned in 10 seconds. I'd be gone. I didn't know that the trans flag and the gay pride flag were a fucking superpower on Twitter. Holy shit. Now I pissed them off because um
Hold
about
on.
something about Doctor Who. I told you they recast. Well, excuse me, I don't know for sure. But let me ask you this question because you don't know. You're not a big Doctor Who fan or anything. You've not really seen it, have you?
No.
Okay. So, but that's actually perfect. Let me ask you, as someone who doesn't know anything about Doctor Who, I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let's say you're watching a show. It's been on the air for a long time, but about 15 years ago, there was a very popular. They
Sorry.
have the show gets relaunched. It's off the air for 10 years, but whatever, doesn't matter. When the show starts back up, the first new character that's been introduced has a certain name. Let's call them.
Jackson.
I'm trying to think of a meme. Think of a meme. Let's call them Aiden, right? How about this? Okay, so there's a character in the show from 15 years
You
ago
really
whose
are
name
very
is
invested
Aiden.
in this, aren't you?
I want to ask you this question. That's that name. It's not a super common name, right? It's not like it's unheard of, but not a super common name. Now, 15 years later, you show a announcement for the new season of this TV show. 15 years later, same TV show, and you say, "Whoa, we're introducing our new character. They're named Aiden. The original Aiden is a blonde lady, a white lady, such as myself, right? And the new Aiden that they have just cast is a black trans woman." Let me ask you a question, Spoon. If all that you knew about this new season of the show is that the character will have the same name, the same first name, but while previously was a blonde white lady, is now a blonde trans black lady, okay? Would you assume that there's no relationship between these two characters? Even though they have the same name?
I'd assume there's woke garbage abound, and they're trying to replace a character with some fucky wucky gay shit.
Yeah, well that's because that's what any fucking reasonable person would think, right?
Well, yeah, that's because
but
that is what they're doing.
but the fact that I brought that up, I'm like, this seems like you want to get rid of a character that was involved in a romantic sort of relationship with a main character, and they were both white, and it was heterosexual, and that's not really cool in 2022. So, yeah, no. Instead, what I was told is, wow, did you know it's possible for people to have the same name? It's possible for two people on the planet Earth to have the same name. Like, yeah, I know. It's this is a television show, though. Okay,
Well, you know the
it's a
reason
TV
why
show.
they want they use the same name.
Yeah, it's not on accident.
Yeah,
Okay,
they want
you
to
know, like
replace
this
the
isn't a
character.
company
Yeah, they want
renewal.
to ruin it.
I don't know if they're gonna if it's a recast or what. I don't really know because by the way, nobody knows. And I was told you about, wow, you can't even do a single second of research on this. I'm like, well, neither can you because nobody fucking knows. So anyway, so I pissed off the fucking little rainbow brigade. That was my story, and
By
just
the way, there is
that's
one
how I
thing.
found out
There
you could
is
say
one
you could
thing
call
that
people
I
retarded.
There is one thing that is good about the Rainbow Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
Is they make white people look amazing. They make white
I mean, well,
people they
they
make white
actually
people
bring
look
light.
superior because everything they try to wreck, they make worse. Like
And they make it
if
like
you
white
try to
people
make
are
white
like this
people look fantastic,
unstoppable.
this is the way you
Like
do it.
dude, they the way they talk about white people, it's like
We're
I don't even
gods.
think Hitler was this was this pro-white. Also, oh, I have two $20 super chats from Ornu. Thank you, Ornu. You said he said she said I'm sorry, Ornu. I missed part of the conversation, but in regards to Spoon and the U.S. morality, all of the idiot nation building and screed corruption are staunch liberal and progressive projects, all of which originated in Europe. The ivory tower crap that the aristocrats of the old world have been preaching for 1,000 years is widely despised by everyone. The US's greatest moral failing is not booting them all to Liberia after the Civil War. Holy
Well, at
fuck.
least
Thank
like
you so much, Orno.
I would agree with some of that, like the French intellectual crap, but your
Hmm.
biggest problem in America is Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you look at
That's another liberal progressive project, right?
yeah,
Everything
yeah,
Woodrow
he's
Wilson can do.
literally he was Professor Woodrow Wilson. And it truly
Yes.
shows. Like for those of you who don't know anything about Woodrow Wilson, look up Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson is the most evil American in history. That is
Hmm.
my opinion of that. No one else even comes fucking close. Like people think, oh look, Biden is bad. Biden doesn't hold a fucking candle to Woodrow Wilson. Like he's the one
Yeah.
who helped fund the bloody USSR, and it was him who dissolved the Austro-Hungarian Empire after the
Hmm.
First World War, and I think it was in Democracy, the God That Failed. And there's another book I want to read, Human Smoke, by Nicholas. I think it's by
Oh,
Nicholas
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Baker. Yeah, where they said, look, here's the situation. If you, the rules of engagement of monarchy, if you just stayed the fuck out of it, America, the war would have come to a sort of a peace agreement between the powers of Europe, and the Kaiser would likely have kept his position. This would not have allowed the Bolsheviks to, fuck up shit in
Hmm.
Russia, and you wouldn't have allowed the massive influence of communism in Europe and in Germany. And the Kaiser would have kept his position, and this would not have allowed Hitler to fucking happen. So yes,
Yep.
Woodrow Wilson was responsible for the Nazis
Yep.
in a roundabout
There
way.
you go.
A couple of dominoes back, but this is the situation. So when
Yeah.
people think like, oh, how the hell did all this shit happen? Because there was a jackass called Woodrow Wilson who decided to fuck over the Austrian-Hungarian Empire and then install gay-ass republics and democracy, and then world safe for democracy, and then because you make this like, democracies are actually shit and monarchies are actually better governments and superior knowledge, and the Austrians were fucking based, except for that one. That one was shit.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Right, there are
his mustache was shite as well.
quite a few based Austrian philosophers.
Yeah, like Ludwig von Mises, those kind of guys. God damn it.
Yeah, yeah, and Cornet Lennon. Right.
He was, yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he was Austrian. Yeah,
Cornet Lennon's Austrian, yeah.
he could read 12
Um,
languages for God's sakes.
I know, unbelievable.
You read 12 languages. You're a good fucking person. I don't care. You could be a psychotic mass murderer. You
He's
read 12 languages. You did some cool shit.
I don't know yeah, I don't know if you're a good person, but you're certainly an interesting person, probably by that point.
But as long as you're
Interesting
not like
enough,
a diplomat for the EU, I suppose.
right? I guess.
But that is
Okay,
impressive, though.
it is impressive. Shall we move on?
Too.
You want to talk about the shooting or Elongate?
The Elongate story is the funniest thing in the world because it's so
Let's
fucking
go
obviously fake.
Let us elongate then.
Oh,
He's the fun one.
oh, Elongate is just, oh, what a great name. I like the fact that he joked about
He's
it.
the one who did. Who came up with it. It's like I
Yeah,
mean,
if there's a scandal
dude,
about me,
it's
please
fake.
call it Elongate. Like he memes the meme before it is brought into action, then it happens, and then everyone just memes like, oh my god. Like this is the thing. The media is very, very predictable. Extremely predictable. So Elon just sits there like a fucking king right now. It's like he looks like a clairvoyant, just going, "Hey, look, you're gonna do X, Y, and Z. Do you know how? Because you do this with everyone that disagrees with you. It's incredibly obvious, and it is really easy to poke fun of." And he's got a massive audience. He can just say, "Hey, look, they're gonna do X, Y, and Z in 3, 2, 1. Look, there's the scandal," and no one buys it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
no
don't
sane
know.
person buys it.
Who buys it? First of all, this story is so freaking weird. Okay, so here's I sent a link to the Insider article if you want to pull it up. If no one's heard the
Hasn't
basics,
everyone heard
we'll
about this
go
story
over
by
it.
now?
I think everyone knows it, but the basic claim is that 5 years ago, wasn't it right?
It
Yeah,
was
back
in
in
2016.
2016. So yeah,
Yeah,
6 years
2016 is
ago,
when it happened.
allegedly.
Yes.
6 years ago, he's on a
Allegedly.
private. Elon Musk is on a private plane.
Yeah.
And this woman, who's the flight attendant, says that he asked for
A happy ending.
mouth pleasure.
Yeah. He asked for a happy ending.
He asked for a happy ending, and he asked for a massage and a happy ending. There you go. That is what happened. Well, according to her.
Yeah.
who's
claims.
totally anonymous, staying very private with this. But the claim is she declined, uh, even though he offered to buy her a horse. When I read that, when it first came out, I was like, he offered to buy her a house? Did you misspell house? No, he offered to buy her, according to her, allegedly,
Yeah, she was a
offered
horse
to buy
rider.
her a horse. Which is that what it was?
Yeah, she was a horse rider.
Oh, it just sounded really bizarre. But
No, she was. I think she actually likes them.
oh, okay. Anyway, so now all of a sudden, 6 years later, by the way, and he paid her. Was it in 2018? Yeah, in 2018, he paid her $250,000 to shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
not talk about this. Okay, whatever happened, but she hadn't. So she didn't talk about it for 2 years. Then he paid her $250,000 in 2018 to shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Because and this is of course, oh my god. Listen, one of the annoying things about this case is that it's like, oh, that's proof that it really happened because he paid her not to talk about it, or
That's
it's
not how
proof
that works.
he's a crazy bitch and he knew that she wanted to make shit up and might be want to do this, so he paid her to not do it because it's easier to get ahead of something like that than to
Yes.
wait for it to happen and try to play catch up. You know, just be
Yeah,
like, look,
that's a
crazy
bit that
bitch,
I
don't
don't
talk about
get.
it.
Like the amount of money he would have to, to waste, the hours he would have to get spend in court, going through the litigation, like all of this stupid crap. It's
Yeah.
just unnecessary, and also the amount of money he'd be wasting and not making because he's doing this instead of actually making money.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
in terms of time preference, it is easier
look,
for him to just pay the stupid bitch and just like, yeah, take your 250 and
the
just fuck
reality
off.
is he probably fucked her, okay? That I don't think I think she or something, you know?
I don't think
I
I don't think that he
I
did.
don't know what happened, but like
But
I
did you
really
see,
don't.
did you see what he said to her to prove it?
What do you say? No, I missed this.
No, he said, if this is true, describe my genitals.
Oh, right. Yeah. I
Which
do remember
is
that.
like so fucking base. Like, yeah, if you ready to see my dick, tell it to people. What does it look like? Like, damn, that's a pretty ballsy move. That's take some stones to just say that. Like, if this is true,
I
then
don't know.
describe
I
my
think
junk
either
to
I
the
think
whole
it doesn't
world.
really matter if it's true or not. He paid her to shut the fuck up, and now she's broken, her word on that.
He said there's a scar and tattoo, which makes me think does Ian have a tattoo in his junk?
Maybe
It's
he's got
probably
one
a
from
rock on
Europe.
his penis, isn't it?
I really do hope that
It's
he
a
has it
Tesla
like
logo.
with the design with the Tesla logo. I mean, you saw the thumbnail I made, right? It heavily implies as
Probably the
much.
PayPal one because it was years ago.
The PayPal logo. I mean, it just
The
make you go,
PayPal logo on the
hmm.
one ball and Tesla on the other.
It does make me have a big thunk of yeah. He said he had some kind of mark too. Was it like a birthmark or something?
I just don't
And
know
the
if he's got a
tattoo?
scar. Yeah,
A scar. It was a scar, not a birthmark.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he
So.
said. He said, for example, a scar or a tattoo,
Hmm.
which makes me
Hmm.
think he's got a scar or a tattoo.
I would think. I mean, maybe something around the crotchological area. I would kind of doubt on the PP itself.
Yeah, I mean, I have a birthmark on that area, so I can't say shit.
uh.
Not on the area itself, just near its vicinity. Let's put it that way. Not that any of you would ever see that.
Well,
If I took a really close-up shot, you wouldn't know it's the region. So
what was that from? Where it was a really close up picture of somebody's balls, and they thought it was weapons of mass destruction. Oh, it was from Arrested Development. It was from Arrested Development. The one character accidentally took a really close up shot of his balls and sent it to the media, and they put it on television saying it had been a leaked photograph of the region where they believed they were keeping the weapons of mass destruction. But it was
society is
really just
weird,
a
yo.
super close up of balls. Oh, I
Society is
love
very
Arrested
strange,
Development.
man.
Hmm.
Society is indeed very strange.
Oh yeah, Elon's interesting, that's for sure. But
Yeah,
then his tweet about it, by the way,
he's tweeted about it.
his tweet about the allegation. Did you see it? I'll bring it up.
I don't have a tweet about the allegation.
Yeah, and he's completely correct, by the way, obviously. So that's a TLDR. Some woman's come out and said that Elon offered to pay. By the way, she says she didn't do it, okay? So what kind of half-assed fucking Me Too is this?
Wait, did she come out and
Okay.
say she didn't do this either?
I thought she said she didn't do it. No, but that she didn't suck his dick or whatever.
Well, I mean, no, she didn't do anything. Otherwise, she
That's
wouldn't
what
get the
I'm saying.
$250,000.
That's what I mean. That's why this is the weakest sauce shit ever. So the claim is he offered you money for a massage and a happy ending. You said no. Nothing happened. In fact, he paid you. Let's just say that everything she's saying is correct by her account. If everything she's saying is 100% correct by her own freaking account, he asked her to do something. She said no. He didn't fire her. He didn't kick her out of the company. In fact, he paid her $250,000 to keep it on the down low. And now, 4 years later, the second he's looking at buying Twitter, she comes out and goes public with this
and
story.
says the shit, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And there's no record of who she is or anything. Like, the whole story could be completely fucking made up. I don't know where they got the $250,000 from. That's like the only thing that gives the story credibility. But if you understand business, then you won't look at it as an admission of guilt. You would just see like, well, for God's sakes, I understand that it's just cheaper to get her to fuck off than deal with this crap. So yeah, I'm not surprised at that.
As I sent you a tweet, Cat Turd 2, actually quite illustrious Twitter account.
Yes, I'm aware. I follow him.
Said, LOL, Elon Musk says he's going to vote Republican for the first time. The next day, and it was the next day, a sexual misconduct allegation suddenly appears. Elon is learning just how evil the left really is, but I have a feeling he's going to win. And Elon responded by saying, they began brewing attacks of all kinds as soon as the Twitter acquisition was announced. Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
is an astute observation. In my 30-year career, including the entire Me Too era, nothing to report. But as soon as I say I intend to restore free speech to Twitter, vote Republican, suddenly there is. Yep.
Yeah.
You think that's a coincidence?
And you see all the big time players here. The heartstrings there, this is what they do every time. We know the game they play. You do something they don't like, they attack you from all angles with the weaponized media that they mostly control. Yeah, that's true. That is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it is bloody easy to understand.
Again, this is the insane thing. The top response to Elon's tweet is, hey, Elon, can you explain why you paid her $250,000 and made her sign an NDA if there was nothing to report? To shut the fuck up. That's why. And by her own statement, what's she going to report? That he offered her something that didn't happen. She didn't do it. And he didn't pay her. So there was no prostitution. What's the fucking... Oh man, I'm actually getting my goddamn cackles up, dude. Because what is the point? Did you suck his dick? No. Then shut up, bitch. Bye. Like, literally, bye, Felicia. Get the fuck out.
I didn't suck his dick, but I got money.
I didn't suck his dick, so who cares? You didn't suck his dick. Who cares?
By
the way, this Amber Heard shit, this Me Too era is over. Okay, it is. Amber Heard's witnesses, not yesterday, the day before, were or was it yesterday? It was yesterday, wasn't it? Right, I've been having sleep problems. I think it was yesterday. Dr. Nosferatu. Yes, it was. Dr. Nosferatu.
Can I say something random quick?
Yeah.
I think the idea, like, if I was her, hypothetically, I was a female, I probably would
Amber
suck his dick. No, the woman. Yeah, because you could do the same. I suck the wealthiest dick in the world. Rather than say, like, all you did was, I got 250,000 from him. That's kind of lame. That's not a cool story. Saying, like, you fucked the wealthiest guy in the world is a way cooler story to say.
For sure. And I told you this the other day when we talked about it. I'm like, look, I'm going to be real. I'm going to keep it 100. What man or woman says no to that?
Yeah, that to me is very weird.
Suck my dick for a couple minutes, and I'll give you a huge amount of money and a horse or whatever the fuck you want. And then no one ever has to know about it. Why not? From the richest guy on earth. I'm just saying, who says no? On a private plane, nobody will ever find out about it. And what happens in space can stay. What happens in the upper atmosphere can stay in the upper atmosphere.
You get to join the Mile High Club.
You're doing the Mile High Club. Exactly.
That is the most base way of joining the Mile High Club. You get to suck the most expensive dick in the world. Like that's pretty ballsy.
And he's gonna pay you to do it. I don't know who says no.
You get to join the Mile High Club, and you get paid to join the club.
I don't. Who says no?
This is pretty cool. I'm just saying.
To Spoon, do you suck Elon's dick?
Well, I mean, he's a countryman, so.
It's the least you can do.
Why is there's a South African flag in the vicinity, and I just gets like, yeah, it's do it for the good of the country.
Well, he's got, he gets his mast out and he flies a little South African flag from the end of it, right?
I don't know. I feel like that's not really an insult. It's like I fucked Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? It's not like he's ugly or anything. I mean,
it's kind of because it doesn't really it doesn't really lose you credibility.
Jernege for 10 asks, so Spoon would drink from the meat straw for clout. I respect the hustle. I think you haven't exactly answered it, but yes or no, definitively, would you suck Elon Musk's dick? Elon Musk's dick.
What is he giving me, or is it just this fact that I'm just doing
He's gonna pay you $250,000. He's gonna pay you. You're on his private jet. No one will ever know about it unless you decide to run your big fucking dumb mouth. Would you suck his dick in exchange for the privilege, $250,000 and a horse?
There's a lot of goodies there. You know what, the 250 though probably would increase the count.
Would you do it? Yes, no. 250K.
Not for 250.
What? How much money?
Because 250 is peanut. Like you're basically calling me a whore, and I'm just haggling the price. You do realize that, right?
Yes, obviously. But
fuck you.
Look,
I will not disclose the amount on here.
You did, well, you didn't see that Dick Masterson clip on Dr. Phil where he said, what was it, prostitution and
someone in chat said I'm doing it for free. No, I'm not doing it for free. Get the fuck out of here.
I think he's gonna do it for free.
No, I wouldn't do it for free.
Where child support and prostitution are the same thing. You're paying for the whore to leave.
I don't know. I feel like if you were a female and you get to say that, that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, that's like the height of female flexing, right? I mean, in terms of very vapid, but you know what I mean, vapid female flexing. What would be a bigger win than I fucked the richest man on earth? You know what the bigger win is, right? You know how you won up that outcome of being able to go through your. Oh no, getting fucking pregnant and owning that motherfucker for life. Do you know what I mean? That's the ultimate
sad.
Thought shit. Oh no, I know it's sad, it's disgusting, but that's the ultimate thought. That has to be like every nasty bitch. That's got to be the ultimate life goal, right? It's like, oh gee, I sure wish I could meet Elon Musk so that he could impregnate me, so that I could fucking sit on my fat ass or sit on my ass and get fat for the rest of my life and be a fucking waste of oxygen. Yeah, that's the ultimate bimbo fucking fantasy, dude.
That's the Jankowicz fantasy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I did get a little bit misogynistic there, but it's true. That's the ultimate of lazy Stacy fantasy.
I don't actually have
some guy to pay for me for the rest of my life so I can sit around and get obese.
It's funny you say that because I don't actually have a female celebrity that I find that attractive. So off the top of my head, like most guys think of like, oh look, there's a bunch of celebrities they would like sleep with. I can't even think of 3 off the top of my head that I would.
Really?
Yeah. Chat. Someone in the chat said, "Give me some celebrities that I'm maybe missing out on."
What's her name? Who's my favorite?
I would say hold on. Let me just see.
I remember. What's her name?
No. I think just like
talked about this a little bit. We've talked about it before. Actresses and actors. We found. Oh, Mila Jovovich. I think she's really hot.
Who?
Mila Jovovich.
I mean,
I don't know anymore. I haven't seen her in a couple years. I'll send you an older picture. She's Lilu in Fifth Element.
You're speaking words that I don't understand.
You've never seen The Fifth Element?
For a couple of years. Scarlett Johansson's alright.
Scarlett's pretty. There's
Mila. But she's not someone I'm gonna give my left nut for.
Well, that's a different kind of lady, right?
A tennis player. Are you talking about Steffi Graf, or who are we talking about now?
No, not Amber Heard. Not in a million years.
Or Mila. No, what the hell is her name?
Mila Jovovich.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, she's. I.
No. There's another one. Anna
what?
Kournikova.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's not bad looking actually.
I don't know. There are lots of attractive actors and actresses, but I don't know. In terms of like, if you're asking me that kind of question of is there a male actor that I would be like falling all over myself for? They're all like sci-fi actors, or actresses. So it's not like
Yeah,
it's not as much.
Olivia Wilde is not bad either. I would
Yeah,
say
there's one. Yeah,
um, Nita Strauss, who
yeah.
plays guitar for Alice Cooper. Oh my God, yeah, it's really weird.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You showed me a
I
picture.
I don't like blondes, but all of the girls that would make my list, they're all blondes, which makes no sense. And every sex room I've ever had, the chick is always blonde,
Huh.
which makes absolutely no sense. They're always blonde and they're always older than me. Every single one.
Hmm.
Very weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, that probably says something about my taste
I
in
was gonna say
females.
now to go think about what this means. What did he
Yeah.
mean by this?
I'm trying to think of somebody else. Oh, do you know who I find extremely attractive?
Ooh.
The decade is way out of whack. Is
Yeah.
Ann Wilson, like in the 70s. Ann Wilson, who sang for Heart. Oh my God, Ann Wilson in the 70s is like.
Who?
Ann Wilson. Hold
And
on.
how? Oh, 70s. Oh, I found it. Oh, it's spelled with no E. I spelled it with an E. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really pretty.
Ann Wilson in the 70s was damn very
Yeah.
pretty. Like if you look at the
Oh,
during
yeah.
like the Barracuda video,
Yeah.
like hold on, here's a good picture of her.
Sorry, we got on a bit of a tangent. Oh yeah. Oh man, I want that, dude. I like both of their outfits. Yeah, her sister looks like a little kid there, but I still like that outfit. Oh, no, that's why I like it. I was actually getting ready. I was gonna buy a new corset, like a fashion one, and I was like, I'm such a fucking weirdo. I always look like an asshole walking around wearing this shit. hmm Hard to do. Hard to pull off bangs. Where were we? Oh, we were elongating, correct. We should talk about the shooter, shouldn't we? What?
That is like damn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Her face has been like photoshopped.
Her face is what you're looking at in that photo, really?
No, I looked at the ass first, and that's why I went, wow. And then, then slowly my eyes moved up to when I went, like, this seems shopped. I can
Also,
tell by looking at some of
I
the pixels,
actually like the
having
headstock of
seen
the
a
guitar as
number of
well.
shops in my time. Sorry,
Also,
that's a very old meme.
does she have? I can't see that's a heart rate or lightning bolts on the fret markers.
I don't know. This is clearly shot, but I did look at the booty first. Distracted me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like damn. She has a really
Damn.
nice bum. Like, well done. Well done,
Uh,
you kick ass. Could have
well,
kicked somebody else to get it, but god damn.
speaking of ass
She
kicking,
does she does have a very intense look on her face. Like she looks like she would fuck you up.
that's why I said it looks a little shocked.
No, like
Um,
that's just her face. Like, god damn, she's got a pair of arms on
no,
her
it's
as well.
it's like I've been using Photoshop my whole life too. There's been some corrections, but I mean but it's an official photo, of course.
Someone is
It's a
asking me,
look.
do I have a suburban mom kink? I'm not gonna confirm or deny that.
Oof. Oh, now I've learned something I didn't want to know.
I'm not saying a word on that.
Thanks.
Someone.
Hey, does anyone have any bleach for their brain? How do I Google? How do I have how do I develop anterior grade amnesia?
Rumors spread like wildfire with no evidence. Bitch, there is definitely evidence of that. It's all over fucking social media.
Well, we're gonna go over it. So, Salvador Ramos transgender rumors spread like wildfire. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. She's very cute. I like I like that pussy. He does like getting out of it. You put it on the stream and it be aware, if you're worried about seeing some pussy, you're about to see it. Don't get upset, Susan. It's very it's
This
very family friendly.
cat is look at the cat is high as hell. Like holy shit. Sorry, I
That's
just
like
I find it very amusing.
That's
I'll stop now. I'm sorry.
fine.
I just
Oh, no, don't worry
memes
about it.
about the cat.
It's I'm
Oh
just
god, the cat's funny.
referring to her pet feline, of course. Um,
Yes.
I mean, you might his eyes are real wide. You might even call them gaping. Her black gaping pussy right there.
I feel like if anyone's gonna get this stream demonetized, it's gonna be you and not me.
What have I done? Look, they almost always
You
get
said
demonetized anyway.
gaping.
His eyes, the cat. He's looking at something.
Well, you said his and then pussy, and like, oh god, at least you're keeping it, with the
It's like
with the
I'm talking.
times. Yeah, okay, whatever. Sorry, what were you saying? Before we got distracted
All
by
right,
the cat
all those are.
and her ass.
Wait, this is a serious political channel.
Yes.
Uh,
Define merits
Paul
of arsery.
So, as I'm sure most of you are aware, there was a mass shooting last week in Texas.
Oh god,
Disgusting,
yeah. And I
disavow,
notice
gross,
all of the
horrible.
what's
I
the word I'm
feel like I'm
looking
sounding
for?
sickening.
The spicy details are not in the mainstream media at all. I wonder why.
Well,
He's basically
look,
Buffalo Bill.
it's the same freaking thing every single time. It is the same song and dance every time there's one of these mass shootings, and it's why I sighed and was like, ugh, earlier, because first of all, this kind of stuff. It's why I don't talk about it anymore, and I don't make videos about it anymore. So I made one. I got a strike. I've never been able to get rid of that strike. It's a warning, excuse me. And they've never, after 5 years almost now, they've never let that go. YouTube. We're talking
Yeah.
about a shooting and how disgusted I was. I made a video when I was emotional about it. I thought it was sickening. And I said what would happen was, and I said, here was the worst part. This was what the actual video was about. It was short. I mean, really short by my standards. It was like 10 minutes. Was why I find it so disgusting is that every single person inevitably will find some way to politicize this to make it suit their political narratives, and it happens every time. And it's why whenever something like this happens, it makes me absolutely vomitous to watch the way the media, without fail, both left and right, politicize this stuff and try to turn it into a win for their side. I think it's truly disgusting and heinous, and I'm fucking tired of it.
That's how all politics works these days.
I know.
And
It's
social media
sickening.
does not help. Social media amplifies the shit out of that. And makes it way worse.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm glad we get to talk about butts and things before this, because I hate this topic. It's very depressing. What happened, though, is there was a shooting. Rep Paul Gosar tweeted out, quote, it's a transsexual leftist illegal alien named Salvador Ramos.
Oh, they were
And then he
illegal?
deleted the tweet. That's what he said. I don't know if any of this is true. We can go over the evidence. But he deleted it, and so now it's like, Paul Gosar lied on Twitter,
I didn't know that
ban
part.
him. Well, nobody does know, do they? I don't know. The claim Ramos was transgender is spreading rapidly online, along with photos they appear to have been taken from a Reddit account that belongs to a transgender person. It's not me. I don't even live in Texas. The person using that account has since written on Reddit in the comments they wrote, they took my photos and used it to spread misinformation. That's what the Redditors say.
You were talking in the chat about the channel strike. I got a channel strike 2 days ago. Actually. No, so I got a channel strike 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then it got I
returned.
Yeah, because they said you can try to repeal it. And I went, hell yeah, I'm going to try to repeat it for God's sakes. All I did was read a Breitbart article from like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
It was, I
Well,
just went like, oh, what the hell did I do now? And then I looked at the video, and it was the Maricopa, I think it was the Maricopa count in Arizona, the recount,
yeah, yeah,
where like
yeah.
there was like so
Oh,
many
yeah.
ballots that were missing, and some really sketchy shit was going on. So I went, this is some bullshit. I'm gonna fucking appeal this, and then it got through a day later. I sent it to V, and V went like, it's insane that you actually got that, because that never happens.
That surprised me too.
Yeah, but it's from 8 months ago, so and it was blatant.
Well,
It was just factual. I didn't
I
say
don't
anything
think
spicy.
warnings ever fall off. Because, like, again, that warning, I got that, like, 5 years ago. And I have to, I'll be completely honest about that video, right? It's deleted. You would think that after, okay, I got this warning, by the way, I file to have it removed from my channel, the warning. I file every 3 months or so. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this was 5 years ago. The video has been deleted. I've made public apologies for it. And I'll tell you why I made public apologies. It's not because I was wrong. It was because it was the Brenton Tarrant shooting, right?
Should I know that one?
That was the guy who shot up in New Zealand.
Oh, right.
The Christchurch massacre.
Whenever I think of subscribe to PewDiePie, that's the first thing that
Well,
comes to mind.
unfortunately, yeah. But what had happened is, I was at my grandparents' house. My grandfather had just passed away, so I had just been to a funeral. I was already like not in a
In the
great
best place.
mood, in the best place emotionally, and then I was browsing 4chan as I am wont to do, and I saw the full video of him shooting up the mosque, and like the raw video. I watched it, and it really hurt me. I was very disgusted by what I saw, and I immediately went and opened up Microsoft Word or Open Office or whatever, and was like, "All right, I'm gonna make a video about this because I'm very upset, and I'm really, really was disgusted by what I saw." And so it was a very emotional 10-minute video where I was just like, "Fuck this guy! I hope he rots in hell." It's sickening thing he did, and I just watch how they're gonna fucking politicize this. And I said this is gonna be used as an excuse about the right wing and how all right wingers are horrible racists. Subscribe to PewDiePie, whatever. And I said they would attack PewDiePie over it. They did. Everything that I said ended up being correct, by the way. But that's what got me that warning. And I appeal it like every 3 months. They will not let it go. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I guess I do know why. It's ideology. But
Yeah, the first one that I got a strike for was literally quoting the CDC.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
insane.
I know. Crazy, right?
Like, you're upset for me because I quoted the very thing that you apparently is your standard for your guidelines. Like, what? But it's because it updates. Their policy doesn't update as fast as the information comes out, which is really their own fucking fault. So you can say something that is brand spanking new off the presses, and YouTube will say that's fake news. Like, bitch, it literally isn't. Like,
Well,
you can show them the article that you read from.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of reasons I do my videos the way I do them. One, I did not script that video, by the way. It was mostly just me ranting. That's why I don't just rant. I'm fine to come here and get on the podcast and hang out with you, of course. But it's why I script my videos, so I don't accidentally say something stupid and emotionally charged when there's something like this where I can get, I don't like this stuff, obviously. I find it horrible whenever I have to read about this kind of crap. It does upset me. And when I'm upset, I can say dumb shit. Fuck this dude. He died, didn't he? They killed him, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they shot the guy.
Good. But
Open and shut case.
yeah, good. Okay.
But that's the way they're gonna treat it. But
cleaning up the trash. Okay. It's too bad that he fucking took anybody with him, though. Piece of garbage. See, I get mad. I don't like this stuff. Because, I mean, the gun grabbing. How long did it take? How long did it take for the gun grabbing to start?
50 minutes.
About. Did you see? I mean, someone posted a meme on Twitter. I can't remember where I saw it. but it was the Family Guy like color shade meme of like if they're within these shades of if they're white essentially have this reaction, and if they're not white have another reaction. Oh, because if it's a white guy who does it, an obvious white guy, whenever there's a school shooting, well, we have to talk about about how white people are evil and all serial killers. We gotta talk about that.
Yes.
If it's a non-white person, we gotta talk about gun control every time without fail. So this person, Ramos, Salvador Ramos, is of course, as the name heavily implies, uh, South American of some sort. I don't know, but Hispanic, right?
Implies
I
whitey.
think that doesn't. I don't know if that counts as whether or not Hispanic counts as white. Really depends on the election season. You know what I mean? Like what part of in the election cycle are we in? And that's how you figure out if a Hispanic person is white or not. Because if they're voting for Trump, well then they're white. If they're not voting, if they're voting for Joe Biden, well then they're not white.
Is that really how that works?
Pretty much. If no, you know this. If you are a minority that aligns with the Democrats, well then you're whatever you claim to be. I mean, or are, right? And it's good because they're such a diverse party. If you are a minority who does not go along with the Democrats, without fail, it's well they're white passing, or then they're an Uncle Tom, or well they're half white. Because I mean people say that about the Hodge twins that they're because they have blue eyes. That means they're basically white. I've heard that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
They did a DNA test actually,
I know.
and they found out that
They're like half white, aren't they?
they're like 51% black.
Right.
They like
But I mean,
just made the cut.
no one would look at the Hodge twins and be like, "There's two white guys," right?
I
Nobody
wouldn't look at
who's
them and
being
think two black guys either though. I would just look at them like
no,
you guys are mixed.
yeah,
Like
some
if
but
they
like,
if they were in South Africa, they would get called colored.
freaking looks at people like that and goes like, "Ah, hello, you must be from Sweden." I mean, maybe now Sweden, but
Yeah.
uh, it is always curious the uh, sort of quantum existence of Hispanic people as a minority group. They're they're in quantum flux for the left. Whether or not they're oppressed is based entirely on whether or not it's useful, which is also some real sickening shit. I'll be honest. So the article, I think you sent this to me earlier, but I brought it up as well.
Well, are you saying
So
that the left puts people in a color box? No.
oh yeah, they
Yeah.
absolutely judge people based almost entirely on the color of their skin.
They never do that, Aiden. That's fake news. No, of course they do that. They do that fucking consistently. Yeah, and you have to be out of your
So,
fucking mind to think they don't do that.
whoa, hang on a minute.
What?
Oh my god. Sorry, I made myself a margarita. It's way too strong.
Aiden is gonna be drunk, people. That's what she's trying to say.
No, it's it hurt to drink it. It was so strong. Whoops. God damn it.
Again, Aiden's gonna be drunk.
Give me a
Everyone,
second. I
everyone
have
buckle up.
heartburn. Holy crap.
Aiden's gonna be drunk.
No, I'm not.
Aiden's gonna be
Look,
drunk.
okay, listen. Listen here, you frierf. Frierf.
I don't know what that even means.
Don't worry, it's a reference to something very obscure. Not obscure, it's a reference to Fesh, Pence, and Blair. I only have about 5. All I can do is reference YouTube poops and internet memes.
Should I feel offended?
You big-eared frierf. Sorry. What's
Someone
I
in the
saying?
chat tell me, should I feel offended? Because I have no
No,
idea how
what
to
the
react
heck?
to this.
Now I don't even remember why I called you a big-eared frierf.
Something about drinking?
Oh, in the summer, I always like, whenever it gets to be, like, warm outside, I would like to have one of my 3 drinks. I would like a pina colada, a mojito, or a margarita.
Ah,
The
yeah,
best.
you definitely are kind of gay.
What? How is it gay?
How's it
It's
straight?
It's refreshing.
No, that's gay.
Tell me what's more refreshing than a mojito. There's maybe one.
What's more refreshing?
Refreshing of an alcoholic beverage than a mojito.
Oh, an alcoholic beverage? Oh, shit.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's summer. It's nice out. I want to have something cold and refreshing.
A beer.
Ew. No.
I'm
I
a
don't like beer
guy.
at all. What the?
Refreshing drink for me is either water or whiskey. I drink
Well, I was
hard
gonna say
alcohol.
I and what is in a mojito?
Alcohol?
Rum.
Okay, that's alcohol.
It's hard liquor. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
It's like,
What I was gonna say
it's like,
is there was one option that I would have accepted above mojito for a more refreshing cocktail, and that would be a mint julep.
oh god. Every week we
Have you
discuss
had a mint
alcohol.
julep? Have you had a mint julep?
No,
That's
because
just
I'm not a
bourbon.
gay guy.
It's just bourbon muddled mint.
Nah, I drink my whiskey straight. Same way I prefer my women.
I have a mint julep, my dude. It's so good.
No, give me straight whiskey.
Mm.
Or
Oh, wait, I
if
invented a new drink.
or if you want a South African recipe, we have something called a Dom Pedro. Don't ask me where the name comes from. I have no idea. Where it's like half a tub of ice cream. It's just about a cup for a serving. A shot of Kahlua, and if you feel up
Yeah, I'm not a
to
big
it,
fan of Kahlua.
a
Oh,
shot of
who's calling who gay drinking Kahlua?
this ice cream. You asked for refreshing. Here's a refreshing thing.
I don't like the ice cream is heavy.
You
Not refreshing. Continue. Sorry.
So it's just that and whiskey. Whiskey is optional, right?
Uh-huh.
No, someone
Whiskey,
else.
ice cream.
No. Someone. No. I gotta address the chat.
What's going on? Whiskey?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Someone in the chat says I'm not gay. It says the guy haggling over Elon. No, someone else made me haggle.
Okay, NJ Call, to be fair, I did force the
Yes.
Elon dick haggling over his
I said if you were female,
rock.
you would because you get to have kudos saying you'd suck the most expensive dick, and then C propositioned me using Elon's phallus of power essentially.
Phallus of power! By the power of Grayskull.
By the power of the dollar, but it's gone.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Power of the almighty dollar.
Yes. But yeah, no, it's essentially just a cup of ice cream. Shot of whiskey is optional, but just a shot of Kahlua, and then just blend it, and then just drink that. That's it.
Sounds pretty good.
Flick, yeah.
What's that, Bill?
For someone.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see. Sorry, I got some lemon lime cherry 7-Up. Heck yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, were you eating the gummies again?
Oh, I already did that.
You did it on stream?
No. Did I tell you I was feeling really shitty earlier today, right? I told you before we started. No, we were late. There was like, some confusion about the stream today, but basically it got to be like I got up really early, both today and yesterday. I woke up really early. I got some work done, but nowhere near as much. I didn't get much work done yesterday because I ended up hanging out with V's server and shooting the shit. But again, I woke up early today. Around like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I felt so shitty. I just took a nap for like an hour. And before I took the nap, I ate a gummy. That was like 5 hours ago. You know, because I was feeling sick. I didn't feel good. So I was like, I'll eat one of these gummies and go and take a nap.
I don't feel good. What I need to do? Get high.
Well, hell yeah.
That's such an American way of thinking, by the way.
Yeah, true. Probably.
Yeah,
Anywho,
so
this stupid school shooter, this piece of garbage, human refuse. Fuck.
Can I make this funny?
No, I can't. But I just want to read this Daily Mail article real quick because here's the thing. So there's the claim that Gosar makes that he is transgender, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. We don't know because it's still new. You know, nobody freaking knows yet. There's not enough information on it. But warped mass murderer Salvador Ramos was failing high school loner with an aggressive streak who was bullied for being poor and mocked for wearing eyeliner. So, I don't know if it's a transgender person or not, okay?
It sure as hell doesn't sound straight, let's put it that way.
According to the Daily Mail, though, in this article is about how they were mocked, right? And that's why they did this. I mean, by the way, in the headline, it says he was only mocked because of his choice of clothes and because his family was poor. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying. So that I do not think that the Daily Mail article, the Daily Mail just tend to be more kind of right-leaning and a total rag often. I do not think I don't think it's a like hard right kind of opinion. That I think they're trying to not make the argument because of the Ghost Heart statement that he was trans.
But you can't say he was.
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody. None of us can know for sure. I'm just glad he's dead.
That's very mean.
Oh, and he killed his grandmother.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I don't know why the hell
Shot
why he
her.
did that.
Shot her, yeah. Yeah, he said the grandmother. Okay. Wait, I forgot about that. Former classmates and colleagues described the evil killer 18, who slaughtered at least 19 innocent children in the second deadliest school shooting in American history. In I do not know how to pronounce this town. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try. Uvalde, Texas, on Tuesday, before being shot dead in a shootout with Border Patrol officer. Described by one people as emo, his lisp also made him a target, according to the Washington Post, with classmates claiming that he endured gay slurs. Another said he was blocked for his clothing. Former classmate who asked not to be identified
Oh
told he
god,
and
this
Raymond
is.
were somewhat close and used to play Xbox together. The killer was a fan of the shooting and combat game Call of Duty. They're gonna bring video games into it. This is, again, I hate every fucking time it's a tragedy like this. Both the left and the right have to hop onto the corpses of dead fucking children to use as an altar or a pulpit to preach about politics from. Go fuck yourself if you do that. I don't care what politics you have. Jesus, dude. Sorry. I told you it makes me mad. I know. We're gonna inevitably get the right's stupid boomers on the right. And don't get this stuff twisted. If you don't know where like all the panic about video games came from, it's freaking what's her name? Um Clinton and Gore. And what's her name? No. Gosh, what's wrong with my brain? She's what's his name's wife? That I know doesn't help. God damn, why? I know I'm being very because I can't remember their names. Oh, crud. Oh man, who ran for president? That's a couple years. I gotta remember. Yes. Why is my brain not working? Sorry. I don't know what's wrong. Hopefully somebody in the chat knows who I'm talking about. It was Gore. It is Gore, I think. Is it Gore's wife? Yeah. Tipper Gore. That's it. Yes, Tipper Gore. Thank you. It was Tipper, yeah. Tipper was on like a thank you guys.
That was their name?
Jack Thompson, yeah, that is her name. Yeah, Tipper, thank you guys. I get it now.
That's such a gay name. How do you not get made fun of for that name?
Totally shut off for that for a minute. Yeah, Jack Thompson's another bag of snakes or whatever.
Why would you name
yeah,
your kid that?
What?
Tipper.
Tipper, that's her name.
Your parents hate you. I'm sorry if your parents name you that, it's because they don't like you.
I mean, is it a nickname?
It's a
Yeah,
gay
Elizabeth.
name.
Tipper's her nickname.
That's
her
a
name's Mary
stupid
Elizabeth.
name.
Where does it come from?
It's a stupid Tipper Gore. What the fuck?
I assumed her parents just hated her, like you said.
Yes, like what the fuck? That you okay? Seriously, parents, name your kid something appropriate, not something that's going to get them made fun of. For God's sake.
True. Also, yeah, Jarnegi, Al, feed me poor people, Gore. I appreciate the reference, by the way. But that was Mitch McConnell. I think it was, wasn't it? I'm Mitch McConnell. Terrible. Feed poor people. I got the reference. Anywho. Oh man, what was I
get why you would do that. That's just awful.
What?
Why would you do that to your kid? Like, why give
That's not her name. Her name's Elizabeth. She's a normal name. She chose to go by Tipper.
How the hell do you get that nickname?
I don't know. How do you... Yeah. I looked it up. Oh, she was given the nickname Tipper by her mother from a lullaby her mother had heard.
Okay. Oh, weird, though.
It's weird. It's weird.
Sorry,
Oh, well.
this is going a bit off the rails, but that's just a very
Yeah, well,
weird
wow, we
name.
have gone a bit off the path, haven't we? Um,
Not again.
oh,
It's just
okay,
it's a very very strange name. Why the hell are you doing that?
it was. Oh, because I was also gonna talk about Jack Bruce Thompson, who I mean, so Tipper Gore gets mad at the video game stuff. A Democrat, again, by the way,
Of course.
gets mad at. This is how the video game panic started. Was the Dems of well, we can't have these. This they always come at it from for the most
Can't
last
have
couple of
regular
decades.
people just have their own
Well,
fun.
for the last few decades, the left and the Democrats in the U.S. specifically have like, rebranded themselves as the um, political wing of science, right? And so part of that is, I know, funny, but part of that means is that when they decide to have a moral panic, they have to couch it in science. So and I don't obviously, after Columbine, everyone was concerned with school shootings. Although was this before? I think Tipper's bullshit started after Columbine. So although I do not recall, because I think Columbine was in the mid-90s, wasn't it? Anyway, point is, at that point, the left was being like, well, these kids, they need to have better education, we need mental health support. Of course, it always comes down to, let's add more government spending. Always, because that's how they deal with stuff. That's just generally speaking, that tends to be how the left deals with any issue, is let's
We
spend more
need more
money on.
power.
Yes, let's expand our power and the amount of money that we can take out of your pocket to pretend we're doing something. So that was that kind of era, and then the right got into the satanic panic stuff around the same time,
Ah, yes, the
which
80s.
now who knows? I don't know what to believe about that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because the
In what
claim was, of
sense?
course, that there were okay. A couple of things that happened with satanic panic. One of them was that it seemed kids were being hypnotizing themselves essentially into believing that they had been molested by these satanic groups. There was, I mean, like, do you know about like what happened with the? Do you know what happened with the school? The big was it a preschool or elementary? It's an elementary school. The satanic panic school where they just McMartin preschool, yeah, McMartin preschool trial. This is 83. They these teachers at this daycare were accused of like running a satanic death cult in the preschool, right?
What now?
The McMartin preschool trial is bizarre. It is a quintessential example of mass hysteria and moral panic. The McMartin preschool trial. There's a couple. I read a book on it a couple years ago, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a very interesting, weird thing that happened. And that was in that went through the early 90s. So the point is, like, there's always these moral panics that go in and out.
I'm familiar
But
with the moral panic. I just didn't know I can do that kind of weird shit.
right, my only point is that like both sides will do this at some points. Right now, and the left is claiming that the right is having this ridiculous, baseless moral panic. I'm surprised that I haven't heard more mention of McMartin regarding the um, trans kids, gay sex in they don't say gay, but excuse me, right? I'm surprised the left hasn't brought up McMartin more frequently to say this is just like McMartin. You're punishing innocent teachers who've done nothing. This is the exact same thing because they're saying it's a moral panic that the opposition to teaching critical race gender theory to and anal sex to 6-year-olds is a moral panic that doesn't. It's not really happening. I mean, that's the funniest shit. It just really tickles my taint that they will the expedience with which the left seems capable, not all, but you know what I mean, with yes, to go from it's happening and it's good, deal with it, bigot, to that's a conspiracy theory. It's not happening at all. Wait a minute, I thought it was strong and brave that you were teaching because you were made all these TikToks, where you were bragging about how you're talking to 4-year-olds about butt sex and how it's so strong and brave and wonderful and amazing. You're really proud of it. To it doesn't exist. I thought you were so proud of it. I can't, dude. I don't know how you manage that dissonance. I don't get it. But they're very good at that, of accusing the right of moral panics, engaging in constant moral panics themselves. I mean, the abortion thing is a moral panic. Again, they say the right's doing, but are they? I guess it's different when you don't have morals.
Or consistency or principles or damn anything.
Yeah, you don't have anything really. Again, not all, obviously, but God, it's so obnoxious. So, if this person's transgender or not, I don't know. He described again as emo by his list, made a target. Classmates, he endured gay slurs. Another said he was mocked for his clothing. A former classmate, right, I got to Call of Duty. On his since removed Instagram account, Ramos is believed to have shared a photo of two AR-15 styled rifles. What do they fucking? What do you mean AR-15 style rifle? Do they? I don't think they fucking know what AR. How? Spoon? How? At this point, after all these so many years, does the media and do people in general not know what the fuck AR-15 stands for? Spoon, do you know what AR? You think they think it stands for assault rifle? Yes. Do you know what AR means? Armalite. It does not stand for assault rifle. But look, what do you mean AR-15 style rifle? It's a nonsensical phrase, Daily Mail. Sorry, I just hate that shit. Anyway, his AR-15 style rifles. Just 3 days before the killing at Robb Elementary School, while the bio on his TikTok page chillingly read, "Kids be scared IRL." While the motive for the massacre is not yet known, one neighbor told local news channel Newsy that he witnessed Ramos, who worked at Wendy's, arguing with his grandmother, claiming he was angry that he did not graduate. He said the grandmother then screamed, he shot me," before Ramos zoomed down the street and crashed his car before embarking on his killing spree, which also counted 2 much-loved teachers, bringing the total death toll to at least 21. According to the Post, the shooting took place, blah, 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 yeah. His neighbor, Ruben Flores, 41, said he had a pretty rough life with his mother and that he had tried to be a father figure to the teen. He claimed to the Post that the police had previously visited his maternal home on Hood Street. Ooh, he's literally from the hood. And that the troubled youth argued often with his mother before moving to his grandmother's house across town a few months ago. Meanwhile, Wendy's coworker told the Daily Beast that he had an aggressive streak and would send inappropriate messages to female employees. They also branded him quiet and antisocial. One said he would be very rude towards the girls sometimes, and one of the cooks threatened them by asking, "Do you know who I am?" And he would also send inappropriate texts to the ladies. The source claimed there were multiple videos of Ramos fighting with people with boxing gloves at the local park. He'd take them around with him, they claimed. In the hours leading up to the killings, the shooter reportedly showed off his guns to an LA-based woman via his Instagram page, taunting he was about to do something. When the woman asked what, he said, "I'll tell you before 11. He began shooting at noon. As soon as he made entry into the school, he started shooting children, teachers, whoever was in his way. He was shooting everybody. Texas Department of Public Safety spokesperson Chris Olivares said, "This is just evil." An Uvalde. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that town wrong, guys. Resident told the New York Times, I'm afraid I'm going to know a lot of these kids that were killed." Another local, Alfonso Hernandez, told the same paper that his nephew had been in the classroom near where the shooting took place. He actually witnessed his little... Nope. That's it. I'm done. I think the rest is just about the shooting in this article, and I don't think about it.
Yeah,
it's nasty. Much. I don't like it. I don't know if this person is trans or not. I don't think that... It's always, again, curious how when the person is not white, or at least they have a Hispanic name even, then it has to be about, well, we need to get rid of guns. But if they're white, well, we need to get rid of white people, essentially. God, it's so weird.
I mean, you could combine the two and try and get rid of white people. But you might also suffer some, collateral damage.
Well, it's only, white people are so evil and so violent. But when a black person does something like this, like, they didn't, like, want to focus on...
I get the feeling if that's your line and you're going to use black people as an example, that's going to backfire really, really bad.
Yeah. Well, they have to, again, it's based on what is politically expedient. The right does this too, by the way. Let's not play silly buggers with that. They absolutely do it as well.
Yeah, I feel like right people versus right politicians are very different animals.
Politicians suck, dude.
Yeah, right politicians are fucking useless wankers.
Complete do nothings.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely fucking useless, which is also why you should never ever listen to a right-wing politician when it comes to fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like you can tell the good politicians from the bad ones, mainly because there's very few of them. But if you
Yeah,
look at like
that's the easiest way to tell.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Right?
did you see what's her face? Marjorie Taylor Greene. They were trying
Yeah.
to get her not
Oh, I
be
know.
electable, and she
Yeah,
crushed her re-election campaign.
I know. They
But
have
like
tried
60
so
something
hard
percent, she
to
like
smear
murdered her.
her
Like, god
as a
damn.
QAnon conspiracy theorist. She is basically responsible for the deaths at the Capitol.
Yeah, that's just like just
What deaths at the Capitol? Oh, that woman whose name that you can't say because she was a Trump supporter and she's the one who got killed.
but Ashley Babbitt.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say because
Do you hear that name anymore anywhere?
no,
Where's all the concern and care about the woman who got killed at the Capitol? Now they like to talk about January 6th all the time, but where's the talk of Ashley Babbitt? Say her fucking name and don't forget her, guys. And don't forget that it was not right-wing extremists that killed Ashley Babbitt. It was the Capitol Police.
again, I will say this, and I don't give a crap who finds this offensive. January 6th is one of the funniest things you'll ever see.
That part's not funny.
No, not the shooting, but the
No.
whole panic
Oh, it
about the
was funny how
event
they...
is hilarious.
Dude, when it happened, I called it. I said that the day of, I said, or probably the day after, once things started to actually, like, once you would get a little bit of perspective and look at me like, okay, what the hell just happened? I said, this is gonna be their 9/11. I think if you go back on my Twitter, you can find that I posted it like the next day. I said, well, this is gonna be 9/11. That they absolutely need this to be 9/11. And the thing about 9/11s, right, is that when you implement policy, you expand government. Well, you expand government for any reason, but particularly when you do so in the name of protecting the union, saving democracy. You're never gonna let those powers go ever.
No.
I mean,
Government, every time, if a government expands powers, the only way you get rid of it is either elect the Trump or you shoot it.
revolution is the real way you get rid of it.
Yes.
Okay. Once you've given the government more, they never, ever, ever give it back.
Yeah.
Do
What
not
was that? What was
think
the quote from Milton Friedman?
because you're scared.
Nothing is more permanent than a temporary government program.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
don't think just because something scares you that it's a good idea to let the government have a little bit more power so they can take care of it for a bit. Because they're never giving that power back.
By take
People
care
who
of
were
it, they will
afraid of COVID,
nurture it and forever use it as a platform.
oh yeah, and people who were afraid of COVID, understandably, because the media fear-mongered about it, made it sound like it was
No,
really
no. That's
the
no,
worst
no,
thing
no, no,
ever.
no, 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 no. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. It's because those people
Huh?
are fucking morons. I'm
But
sorry
still,
if you fell for COVID, and I
painting.
know most people did. It's because you're all morons.
Now, people are.
Yes,
We have a native,
people are
natural,
stupid.
evolutionary desire to protect and preserve our life. And when people are saying, and you're hearing on every fucking outlet, that there's a disease going around that is the deadliest thing ever, then people get scared. They get scared for themselves and they get scared for their children. And
I didn't get
that's when
scared at
people act
all.
erratically. I wasn't scared either, but, and I had it twice. But like, but
For God's sake,
Swing, you and I are the same age. We're not old,
it's not
and
the
you and I don't have
case of
children either, by the way.
okay,
So
first of all, that doesn't matter. My goddamn
yes, it
grandmother
does.
is my grandmother is 88, and she just said this is bullshit.
I know.
Okay,
That's
so
base granny. But
yeah, because all the females in my family are the base ones. All the females in my family also think women are fucking useless and should never be in power, and they need to get the fuck out, and men need to rule
very
everything.
base.
Yeah, if you ever wonder, like, why'd you get so sexist opinion? Ask my mother. She's the one that has all those freaking opinions. Mom is very old school, so well done. No, because here's the thing for me. This is, if anyone comes to you and says, there's something really deadly going about, the first question, only question I want to know is, how deadly is it? And if they say to you, oh, your chance of dying is 0.03%, I'm going to look at them and think, you're a moron. That is an incredibly low rate. I'm not scared at all. Fuck off and just leave. And pay it no more mind than that. if you in any way thought you're gonna die from this, unless you had like 19 comorbidities, in which case you should die off because you're ruining humanity with your crappy genes.
Oh, but let's be honest. That's who died. I could have told you that anyone who was paying any kind of attention, anything could have told you
Yes,
who's gonna die. Who's gonna die of this disease? Flu-like, right? Flu-like in its presentation and its symptoms. Is it gonna be old and immunocompromised people? Yeah. Not children. Not
yes,
30-year-olds like you and I are.
genetic defects.
God, you're so rude.
I could have said rainbow coalition.
Well, well. Actually, we're gonna get into that a little bit.
What,
There
eugenics of the
actually is
rainbow coalition? That's
there's
very
there's a
base
connection
conversation.
between the COOF and the Rainbow Coalition, maybe sort of kind of, and something that we
But
talked
is there?
about in the end. No, I'm just making a bad joke. There's it's more about
Okay? No,
HIV. It's because
you
there's
better apologize to me. I was
it's
excited.
because we're gonna talk about monkeypox and its relationship to HIV, which also has a relationship to
Okay. I know where you're going with that. No,
in
okay.
the virus. Yeah,
You were talking about butt sex.
I was talking about butt sex
Okay.
and AIDS.
By the way, if that's what the preschoolers are encouraging, or the teachers, doesn't that mean they're encouraging young people to get AIDS in a roundabout way?
Are they encouraging kids to get monkeypox?
Yes, kind of.
Isn't it weird
I
how
just
we
thought
were?
about that. That actually seems kind of
Isn't
fucked
it
up. It's not
really?
really a
Hang
joke
on
as
a
much as
minute.
it is true.
It's really bizarre to me that like one of the things that parents were doing when like a couple years ago or a year ago was intentionally if they had one kid or one person who had COVID, they get all of the kids and they'd have into one room and have a COVID party essentially, so they'd all get it and get over it and then have natural immunity. And of course, the political hegemons were like, "Oh no!" The masters of science said that's not how COVID works. There is no
Yeah,
such
that's
thing as
like you did
immunity to
with the
this.
chickenpox when you were younger.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean I remember that well I don't remember it. I think I just got chickenpox as far as I can recall. But I remember knowing kids who had chickenpox parties. I've been like, get it over with, get out of the way, because kids don't die from this. And that's true. We know that. We've known that for a very long time. Kids, generally speaking, statistically, do not die from this. So just let them get it, get the antibody, and go on their way. I think that makes total sense to me. You can of course get COVID again because it's highly
Contagious.
quickly mutates because it's very similar to a flu virus. Excuse me. I think I'm allowed to talk about COVID now, right? Like we're past protecting that, aren't we, Susan? Like it's yesterday's news. It's over. It's not politically expedient anymore. So now we got monkeypox. So can we tell the truth about COVID now? Can we start telling the truth about it, or we have to still play stupid games and pretend like we don't know all this stuff? Huh? God, I hate that stuff. It's really frustrating. Actually, why not? Is there anything else we had to say about the school shooter? I think we kind of got through.
Trannies
Yeah,
and
politically
weapons don't
expedient.
mix.
Huh?
Trannies and weapons don't mix.
No. Oh, I guess the last thing is.
I bet you he was a fan of Silent. I was gonna say Silent Hill, Silent of the Lambs.
Maybe.
That was a good
Hey,
movie.
it's the first movie you and I like ever watched together.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't see that movie.
I'd never seen it. No.
Yeah, that was shocking to me. You're a big fan of horror, but you've
Yeah,
never
'cause
seen Silence of the Lambs. That's fucking amazing.
I don't know how. I don't know why I'd never actually seen it. Just I never had.
Or the other movie that we watched, is it Revolution?
What did we watch?
No, Upgraded, sorry.
Oh, yay! That was really good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, because the way that he kills the guy at the beginning is like, holy crap. Just really well
Also,
choreographed with the
Elon
camera.
Musk is basically in it too. So.
I hope that's
Poor
not
guy.
true because the chip controls the guy, which is terrifying.
Yes. I know, but he's definitely an Elon analog, that character.
Yes.
So, oh, I had one last article about the school shooter because this is just to illustrate what I mean by the politics start immediately. I sent it to you, I think. Yep. Schumer says Democrats want to craft gun reforms with GOP after Texas school massacre.
Oh,
Sending
get
majority-
real.
Of course, they don't wait. They don't wait until the bodies are cold. Every single goddamn time. Every time. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer pledged Wednesday to renew his attempts to pass stricter U.S. gun control laws. But Schumer acknowledged that Republicans will likely block additional firearm regulation, even after CNBC, even after Tuesday's mass shooting in Texas left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. Yeah, because guns don't kill people. People kill people. If they don't have a gun, they'll get a knife. They'll make a bomb, okay? Psycho lunatics will kill people.
I like how every person that does this is mentally ill, and no one wants to address that.
Oh, right. Well, how about this? Because I could go into a big spiel about Lyndon B. Johnson, but I don't think I will. Not today. And what a
Ah,
failure,
yes,
and piece of shit
LBJ.
Lyndon B. Johnson was. But
Put
one
in
of the
the
things that he did, and Kennedy was also partially responsible for this, so LBJ more carried it to fruition. It was happening under. If you're not aware, Kennedy's sister um, was made into a complete invalid because she was given a
a
what do you call
lobotomy.
it? Lobotomy. Yeah, she had been in a mental hospital basically her whole life. The Kennedys, as a family, were very because they were very social, wealthy, elite, New England family. Were very ashamed of his sister. They put her away in a mental hospital. They gave her electroconvulsive therapy a bunch of times, and then they lobotomized her. And one of the things that Kennedy was very adamant about was change to the mental health system. However, the change that ended up coming under LBJ, after Kennedy got a lobotomy of his own. Oof, sorry.
God damn, that was
um,
rough.
I'm sorry, it just came to mind.
Yeah, that's
No,
pretty, that was pretty spicy.
historically,
Yeah.
historically, I'm very
Woo!
in favor of what Kennedy was talking about because at the time the system that his sister
Spicy
was,
Aid.
let's be honest, killed in was murdered by was terrible. After the Second World War in particular, there wasn't enough space, and they didn't know what to do with all the soldiers who had PTSD. Essentially, they didn't really know what it was at the time, but they were soldiers who were not getting better. Do you know what I mean? Their problems were persisting, and then Vietnam, of course, made that way worse. So what would happen is they didn't know what to do with these soldiers, these veterans. They didn't have a place to keep them. They didn't want to put them in old folks' homes because a lot of them were very violent, and they were healthy for the most part, young men. So they put them in insane asylums, and these people who do not have the same needs. People suffering from PTSD do not have the same needs and should not be in the same care facility as people with um, other severe mental disturbances. Just to lump them all together, and then what happened too is because it's after a war, so it wasn't just that they put them in the same place; it's that they overcrowded all of the mental hospitals. The hospitals, for the most part, if you look at pretty much any mental lunatic asylum, you might call it, but if you look up like the word lunatic asylum or asylum, what you'll find is they all look very, very similar. And the reason why is because the planning design for lunatic asylums were made by the same architect. And the reason why he designed that way is so that they would face the morning sun, and they were built in a staggered sort of V shape, moving backwards through space, so that there would always be the maximum amount of sunlight at all times of the day. Because at the time in the 1800s when they were designed, they believed that you could cure ills of the mind with sunlight and fresh air, right? So they built dozens of these lunatic asylums all over the U.S. Um, and they're all facing the same direction. They're all the same shape. And the idea was that if you take crazy people and just put them out in the countryside and let them get lots of sunlight and peace and rest, they'll get better. When they filled those asylums over the brink, we're talking sometimes 500% capacity, particularly after Vietnam, in these asylums, you get a lot of violence, and you get all the negative, nasty, bad stories you hear about mental health facilities. It's because they put soldiers in there, um, who needed to be in a VA, not to be in a mental asylum. The point is, though, what LBJ did is made it so that you couldn't basically take a crazy person and pick them up off the street and intern them in a mental health facility against their will. Which, to be fair, is a good thing. You don't want to, imprison people, right? But the problem with people who have mental health disturbances is that they don't know they need help. So they won't almost never will go electively to this kind of stuff. Anywho, that's why we have the problem with mental health that we have today. It's because of Lyndon B. Johnson. Are you still there? Did I bore you to sleep? Did I bore you to tears? Oh, good. Okay. Also, Jarnegi for 5 says, don't forget about the Truck of Peace. Oh, yeah, from a while back, yeah. Or what we were talking about before. Um, But yeah, that was the thanks, Yarniki. That's the reason why we have these people running around, because they have no actual interest in fixing these systems. Their goal is just they can't pick people up at the street, even if they have really significant evidence to show that they need to be in a hospital and get help because they're homicidal or suicidal. It's very difficult to take people in who need it against their will. Again, good reason. As a libertarian, it's hard for me to not agree to that on principle, but and there's not a lot of attention paid to mental health in that way. In fact, it's glorified. Be weird, be different. It's a good thing now. It's a quirky, isn't it? Have you seen TikTok? Do you know about the huge trend on TikTok to pretend to have dissociative identity disorder?
No, I'm not
We
that
talked
heavily
about it a
into
couple
it.
weeks ago. So
Really?
it's a huge trend on TikTok with the Zoomers, to pretend to have multiple personalities, right? Which is dissociative identity disorder. DID is an extremely, extremely rare disorder that is caused by you're disassociating because of severe childhood trauma. I think you can guess the kind of trauma I'm talking about, right? Usually. It's so rare that up until it is so rare that scholars are still debating whether or not it even exists. That's how rare this disorder is, okay? And yet, for some weird reason, 10% of Zimmers have it.
I think the word
And go on
habit
their
is probably a bit
TikTok.
loose.
Huh?
I think the word habit is probably a bit loose by the sounds of it.
Well, it's because then they can go, oh, I'm disassociating. Now I am becoming. Oh, Spoon, hang on a minute. I'm going to disassociate. I'm disassociating. Hello. Now I am. I don't know.
Retarded?
Florbo. You should use my pronouns. I'm Florbo right now. I'd really appreciate if you use my pronouns Florb and Florb self.
Fuck off.
Thanks. And yes, Furious Dan, is it like Tumblr headmates? It is exactly like Tumblr headmates because this is his TikTok is Tumblr too. That's why. It's hello, I'm a 16 to 20 something year old girl and I am very special and unique and I would like attention, please. The fuck that is.
Yeah, it's
Jesus Christ.
just creepy.
Mm-hmm. Women, dude. Again, I've been working on the video. I'm working on is the Johnny Depp one, and you know the meme I like so much, which is this song goes very hard. Greetings from Kazakhstan. I hate women so much it's unreal.
Very based.
Dude, working on that video about Johnny Depp and having to like just read all of the studies on the shit women do when they are abusers pretending to be victims, just over and over my head. And it's now that I'm editing the video, I've recorded it, I'm editing it, and I'm just sitting there like 12 hours a day going, I hate women so much it's unreal. I hate women so much it's unreal. This song goes very hard. Greeting from Kazakhstan.
I feel like you're reading that
Aw.
stuff going, you know what, the Taliban maybe have a point.
Oof. Yeah, we're morbing out. Troll with the purpose. We're morbing. It's morbin time.
That's the
Ah.
nuttiest thing you've said all fucking day.
Anywho, so the gun grabbing's begun. There we go.
I was gonna say the gun
What
grabbing
about
thing
Elon?
is
You want to really talk about how, in a stroke of bizarre, a twist, turn of fate, it that no one could ever have seen coming. In a million years, no one could have ever predicted this. It would have been impossible.
oh, FBI wrongly told its
FBI,
agents.
FBI wrongly told its agents Trump-Russia collusion claims had come from from the DOJ. Bombshell document reveals, and instead they came from Hillary Clinton.
Oh my god, Clinton lied?
I know. That's why I said bombshell of the century.
Yeah, what a shocker. Oh look, the most dishonest woman in politics was dishonest
Imagine.
about something. Oh, no fucking shit.
FBI agents probing since debunked claims of a secret back channel between Trump and Russian bank believed that the allegations had originated from within the Department of Justice, when in fact they came from Hillary Clinton campaign attorney Michael Sussman, who had shopped them to the Bureau's then general counsel days earlier.
Doesn't that mean that she's gonna get kicked off
No,
of Twitter basically then?
hell no. That's not how that works.
It is if you're Elon Musk.
We'll see.
I mean, Elon Musk can technically kick off Twitter. It is his
I mean, yeah.
company, and this is fake news, literally.
Look, it was fake news. Remember that everything that was
It was fake news in
bad about Hillary was
2016.
right. Everything that was bad news about Hillary was all the Trump campaign is smearing Hillary's campaign, just as it was with Biden, smearing the other campaign because they're such evil, bad people. You literally created fake news about Trump and Russia.
And use the
And I
taxpayers'
talked
money to do
earlier,
it.
and I talked earlier about the primacy effect. Remember, people to this day, something like 40% of Americans still believe all the Russian gate
What?
stuff, even though yeah, it's like 30 to 40%.
And in other news, 30 to 40% of all Americans are retarded.
They heard it, so they've okay. Without going into specifics and trying to say this while being scientifically accurate without being autistic, right? Is that the brain processes information short term and long term. It's not the same areas of the brain. So, for example, if you do get like a brain injury, you can have two types of amnesia. There's retrograde and anterograde.
You will become a
Retrograde
Democrat.
amnesia, huh? Retrograde amnesia is what most people think. It's when they're like, "Who am I?" That kind of stuff. You don't remember anything that happened before. That's an extreme oversimplification of retrograde amnesia. By the way, it doesn't normally work. It doesn't work like it does in TV shows, and movies. Anterograde amnesia is when you are persistently forgetting new information, and that's because the way that the areas of the brain that store memories, short term and long term, are different. For this reason, when people are processing new information, the short term memory is kind of like sitting there with it, and then your brain moves that information into long term memory, or we forget it, but you add some part of it into your long term memory. Whether or not it's important or not depends on how easily accessible it is in terms of its neural connection to other nodes within the system. How worn those nodes get. The more you do something, the more well you remember it. That's why if you want to learn a language, you got to practice it. The information's in your head somewhere, but you can't access it easily because the neural network isn't as robust. So it's
By the way,
somewhere stored
did you see
long-term memory.
the
But
Lotus Eaters were talking about this as well? And Callum
Mhm.
kept laughing because the people involved, I think it was Mr. Mook, I think was one of the guys' names.
Mook, yeah.
Yeah, and the other guy is Sussman. He's the one who lied.
Yeah, I know Mook and Sussman. You can't make it up.
Yeah,
It's
you can't.
beyond parody, right? Mook and Sussman.
Oh, there's a guy called Mr. Sussman.
Beyond
What did he
parody.
do? He lied. No shit. His name is
Are
Sussman.
you saying he is sus? Are you saying it's a little sussy baka over here?
Oh God, you
Dude,
can't make this shit
I'm
up.
glad Bill didn't hear me say that because Bill hates that so much. So I'm like, I can't help myself but adopt Zoomer memes like some sussy baka shit, and he just cringes into oblivion.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
am I,
guys.
so I don't blame him.
I know you're all probably
It is
cringing into it.
fucking cringe, like,
Just
oh
saying, he's a
God,
bit of a
yeah.
sussy baka.
God,
uh,
why do you have to be so gay?
it's fun. That's why.
It's not fun being gay.
It's fun to me. Anyway, so yeah, Clinton invented the Trump Russia narrative.
Didn't they spend
That,
like
by the
$14
way,
million
remember, you
investigating this
couldn't
crap?
talk about it. You could not talk about that on YouTube for years. It wasn't until this year that you could say that the stuff with the Hunter Biden laptop was real. And it's only
Yeah,
because the New York Times bothered to, or was it Time Magazine or New York Times? I can't recall. Bothered to say, "Oh yeah,
New York
that
Times.
did happen." 3 years, 4 years post facto. 2 years too. I think it was no, that was 3 years. I think they started the
2019?
Russia stuff in about 2018. So
Well, 2021, 2022.
yeah,
2019 today would be
so
23 years. 23
3 or
is
4
3
years
is high,
after
yeah.
they float this shit, they finally are like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we lied." They're
And
not gonna
everyone
say that
went,
they
yeah, no
lied.
shit.
You won't say it in that many words, but that's obviously, "Oh, we got this one wrong or bad. Keep trusting us." Okay, loser.
These people get things wrong constantly. It's kind of like, it's almost like I'm gonna sound very cynical here. It's almost like it's deliberate.
It is deliberate. And speaking of deliberate, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there has been this thing about anybody that they don't like on the left right now is a great replacement conspiracy theorist.
6 out of 10 Trump supporters agree with the core tenet of the Great Replacement. Yeah, so do I. It's just
They
migration
tried to
patterns. You can
smear.
see it.
They tried to smear Tucker with this the other day. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, but Tucker was the one talking about it.
I know.
But it's
Let
so
me.
obvious if you just say, "Hey, look, if we if people A are not producing as much children as people B over the course of a certain period of time, you're gonna have more people B because they're the ones having children." Like that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just maths.
Yeah.
Hello, like, I don't know
I
why
know.
that's a conspiracy theory. Like you could just like, "Hey, welcome to statistics." It's like, what the fuck? I don't know
Here's
how
the
that's a
political.
conspiracy theory. Like you're just morons who don't know how to do fucking basic calculation, you shitheads.
Just really quick, I want to go over this PolitiFact article with the Tucker Carlson thing. This is
Oh
why we're talking.
God,
The reason
PolitiFact.
that great replacements in the news is because of Tucker Carlson.
PolitiFact, the
Oh, it's
fucking
awful.
website that never uses any facts fucking ever.
No, that is wrong consistently. Tucker Carlson feigned ignorance over great replacement theory despite talking about it often. Fox News host Tucker Carlson falsely claimed he was unfamiliar with the racist and anti-Semitic Great Replacement theory cited by the mass shooter in Buffalo. Oh, right. I forgot there was a mass shooter. Wow, shit happens so fast, man.
Oh, you mean
So
the
we got
one
two mass.
that called himself a lefty authoritarian?
Yes, that one
Yeah, okay.
that they
Yeah,
don't like to talk about.
he's very right leaning.
Again,
Yeah.
white guys. So we gonna talk about that when it's a white guy. Remember, now we gotta talk about how white people are evil. When it's and particularly because he targeted black people, right? He went to a black neighborhood
If
and
white
shot
people are evil,
half
you
white people.
wouldn't.
Okay,
I want to say
maybe like
this
half his victims are white.
to every person who's a minority. If white people were
Yeah,
evil, you wouldn't fucking exist.
yeah.
They would have wiped you off the
Okay.
face of the fucking earth.
If white people were really the evil demons that
We would be
the
kicking
leftist
the
media
living
apparatus
shit out of
wants
you.
portrays them as, then none of you would be alive.
Yes.
If white people were truly as a monolith, were so evil, because of course it has to be all white people this, all white people that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and I know that this is really played out, and I'm tired of saying it too, but like, I thought the whole point behind this shit was to be colorblind, and now they're actively saying, no, colorblind, that's racist. You can't be you can't judge people by the content of their character. You have to judge them by the color of their skin. Well, at least I guess at some point, I've told you this kind of stuff before, is that sometimes I almost find it refreshing that they just say the quiet parts out loud now. Yes, we are racist. Yes, we think you should judge people because of their race. And
I feel like if you do that in a country that is mostly white people,
it's the only country you can get. Well, you can be really racist in Japan against non-Japanese people, but Japan's 99% Japanese.
yeah, but I think I don't give a shit about that. I don't live in Japan. But as far
Have
as
you
like the West goes,
have you ever seen the interview with Jared Taylor by a Japanese reporter?
yes, we watched it.
Oh, we did watch it together. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I forgot. Hokuton. Like,
yeah, because
and
the way
he's
it
like,
says white,
it's so interesting the fact that he all
very heavy
okay,
with
the
the
fact that
edge.
he manages to still pronounce white people in Japanese like Hokuton is amazing. That's the thing I'm most
Tickles
impressed
you.
by. But it was weird that even the Japanese guy was like, "Oh, I see what you." Because at first he's like, "This guy's some racist white dude," and then he's like, "Oh, wait a minute. If that were to happen in Japan, the way you're describing, I don't think we would be okay with it." And it's like, yeah, I'm
That's
not I'm
because
not
he's only
agreeing to disagree
racist
with
in the
Jared
West. If
Taylor.
you describe his dilemma in any other place, they would just go, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense."
That's what I mean. That
Yeah.
guy came in like expecting like this guy is he's an asshole. He had to run away from America because he's such a racist. And then he was like, "Oh, okay.
Like, no, it actually just makes
Wait
perfect
a
sense.
minute." Right.
Yeah.
Um
But
Anywho,
that's a very spicy thing to
the
say.
great replacement thing though. I have more articles, so we'll get into it, but you've heard a lot of the great replacement theory recently, Carlson said on his primetime show on May 17th. It's everywhere in the last 2 days, and we're still not exactly sure what it is. Carlson's critics, and I think he's saying he doesn't really know what it is, even if he's talked about it before. And that's what they're saying. Oh, he's said it hundreds of times. The Democrat Party has decided that rather than convince you, people who are born here, that their policies are helping you and making the country better and stronger, they will change the electorate, Carlson said, minutes after saying he wasn't sure what the theory meant. PolitiFact, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're trying to say here.
They're saying that just because he described it means that he knew what it was. 100%.
Okay.
The Great Replacement theory is a white supremacist rhetoric that warns of an elaborate conspiracy by Democratic and Western elites and possibly orchestrated by Jewish people. Jesus fucking Christ.
I've never heard this being used by the Jews.
No,
Ever.
PolitiFact has to throw this shit in there because they need to make it as bad as possible because it's fucking political. To systematically replace white Americans with non-white people through immigration, interracial marriage, and other means. Online writings linked to the gunman show he was motivated by a belief that the white race is dying out, like several other mass shooters before him, and he described himself, PolitiFact. Do you have this in here? Oh, it's not in your little article, but how he described himself as a leftist.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
They
that's
they,
not in
they
there.
conveniently don't have that.
Cute.
I wonder why.
How quaint. Fucking adorable. Christ.
Aiden, do you know people
Anyway.
lie?
Yeah. Weird, right?
Yeah. Shocking.
Leftists never lie. Anyway. Here's a Washington Post article. New data shows how the Great Replacement overlaps with other racial fears. So we got polling from the Washington Post that shows that people who... What are they saying here? Okay, here's the data. How Great Replacement overlaps with other racial fears. I'll send you the article if you want to bring it up. Here's a little graph.
Oh god, do I have to?
No, but there's a graph. I like graphs. You just open the graph if you want to do that.
I haven't even brought up a
There you go.
single article.
Huh?
I haven't even brought up a single article.
So the questions were, a group of people in this country is trying to replace native-born Americans with immigrants and people of color who share their political views. Of Trump voters, about 60% agreed with that. Republicans, a little over 50. About 55. Independents, 30. Democrats, less than 25%. And Biden voters, even less than Democrats at large. The total percentage is about 30% of people believe that, okay? But it is 60% or so of Trump voters, right?
I don't think that it's with race. It's the political ideology of the people predominant of that fucking race.
I mean, it doesn't say race. It does say and people of color, but that's an and statement.
And also, by the way,
Immigrants and... I mean, I think that when people read that, they probably think or, right? Immigrants in general. And I'm going to... There's a reason I'm bringing this up, because I want to fucking go through this stupid bullshit. Discrimination against white people has become a big problem as discrimination against black people in the U.S. has become as big a problem, excuse me. Oh, I remember this study. That's like 90, or excuse me, that's like 75% of Trump voters think that's true. I agree, by the way. But only about 19, 21% of Biden voters think that's true. What do you think? I definitely think that discrimination against white people is a fucking big issue.
No, yeah.
Because they're pretty... we're going to get into it, too. How concerned are you?
Where am I from?
Yeah, I know. Right. Jesus Christ, right. You know better than anybody.
Yeah.
How concerned are you that But remember, Spoon, you can only be racist against white people or against black people, and you can't be racist against white people because political history of
you can definitely be racist
power.
against white people. I can
It's
that.
so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Yeah, but you can't be racist against white people because they have systemic power. What? You can... Racism is a personal thing. It's something that you feel in your heart.
I'd like to know how white people have systemic power. Is it by numbers? Because if it's by numbers, then
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a bunch of clapping and cheering about how white people are going to become a minority soon.
Yeah,
and I'm going to get into that. That's why I'm going to get into it. I've got stuff up.
And I can tell you this from personal experience. If you replace white people with people who are not white, you tend to get some really bad results.
So, you and I have not watched this movie together, but we really should. Maybe every Saturday we do movie night. Also, if I can get a copy of it. If you would join us next Saturday, or this upcoming Saturday, Spoon, you would like to join us to watch Empire of Dust. We've talked about it a lot. It's where the very famous "It's also tiresome" meme comes from. And it's about... it's a Chinese man who goes to the Democratic Republic of the Congo that was a Belgian colony. And the country is in utter disrepair. They have no idea how to maintain the infrastructure that the Belgians, built. They had no clue. And it's all just kind of falling apart. And the guy is there with his translator. And he's just like, well... And he's just asking questions. Like, why don't you... You've got the power and the ability and the infrastructure to have a successful and prosperous country, but you just let it fall to shit. And the guy's response is basically like, nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to work. Nobody cares. And that's like where the "it's all so tiresome" line comes from. Yeah, and I think you're getting that a lot, obviously. It just when you let that stuff happen and you care about race and political correctness more than anything else, society, maybe not to that degree, but society collapses. How concerned are you that native-born Americans are losing economic, political, and cultural influence in this country to immigrants? I mean, over 25% of Biden voters said yes to that one, comparatively to about 60% of Republicans and Trump voters.
No, to be fair, they are racist, so.
But I mean that native-born Americans are losing economic, political, and cultural influence in this country to immigrants. I think the Biden voters and Democrats might be, I'm concerned because it's not happening fast enough, right? Now, I bring this up because, of
There's one
course,
problem with that, though.
what is?
Is that they are not prone to voting Democrat as much as you think. Because Mexicans tend to
Yeah.
be
Oh no, I mean
Christian
that's
and
yeah,
actually very
absolutely.
conservative.
Right.
And once they start making money and they look at the taxes that the Democrats milk them for, they go, "Oh my God, we don't want to do that. Fuck no, vote Republican."
So remember the contention here, though. This whole fucking issue that 6 in 10 Trump voters agree with the core tenet of the Great Replacement theory, says survey. That a group of people. So we just read, right? Well, interesting how that's a big concern and fear. And like, this is ridiculous. But then there's this. If you just go to Google and type in white minority US, you will find countless articles like this one that I have sent you, Spoon, that aren't just like, yeah, white people are dying out, and not only are they dying out, here's why it's not just a good thing, but a great thing. And this is what I said when I mentioned earlier, of it's the quantum position, right? So like the second that same thing with guns, right? There's a quantum or shooters. It's quantum in terms of the Dems don't know what position they're gonna have until they find out the race of the person, right? and then they find out. So, but if the race isn't known, it's in this state of flux. It's the same thing with the Great Replacement thing, right? It's that if they're talking about it as a good thing and how awesome it is that white people are going to die out because they hate whitey so much, well, then yeah, of course the Great Replacement is happening, and it can't it needs to happen faster. But if a Republican brings it up, then what? That's a conspiracy theory. What are you
You do
talking about?
realize
We
that
would never. It's like, but there's hundreds of articles of you not just saying it's happening, but saying it's amazing and the coolest thing in the world. I can't wait for all the whiteys to be dead. So which one is it? Oh, it's both because it's quantum flux. Cute.
you do realize they're gonna have to find
Mm.
they're gonna have to find a different excuse when they realize that these people all vote Republican, and then yeah.
Yeah. So
Fun
here's the
times.
article. I just in response, I just Googled it. I found dozens and dozens and dozens. But I just pulled this one. The U.S. white majority will soon disappear forever, says Dudley Poston and Rogelio Sains. Science? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Basically a non-white.
Don't care. Since the settlement of Jamestown in 1607, the state and the start of the colonial period, the U.S. has been predominantly white. But the white share of the U.S. population has been dropping from a little under 90% in 1950 to 60% in 2018. It will likely drop below 50% in another 25 years. White nationalists want America to be white again, but this will never happen. America is on its way to becoming predominantly non-white. This is just what this article is saying. 2019. This is from the Chicago Reporter, whose headline or whose sub-headline is "Investigating Race and Poverty Since 1972." Is this? Do you think this is a right-wing publication?
No.
Of course not. Our history. Again, I found dozens of these. Just on the front page of Google. Okay, so this is a leftist outlet. You know, and here they are saying it. That it's happening. It's gonna happen. Declining numbers of white people. All right, declining white population. Here they're talking about it. U.S. foreign-born population. The future of whiteness. The aging white population alongside a more youthful minority population, especially in the case of Latinos. How do you publish something with the word "especially" in it? Jeez. That gets my grammar Nazi a little bit up. Anyway, The result will result in the U.S. becoming a majority-minority country in around 2044. The demographic shifts in the U.S. has already resulted in many whites proclaiming that they are losing their country and that they are or will soon become a minority group. In her research on working-class whites in rural Louisiana, sociologist Arlie Russell Hochschild observes that many whites feel frustrated and betrayed, like they are now strangers in their own land. In Trump, they saw a white man who brought them together to take their country back. Hochschild points out that the Trump campaign rally, whites at a Trump campaign rally, whites held signs with slogans such as "Trump make America great again," and "Silent majority stands with Trump." Yeah, they said "Make America great again." That was his campaign
His
slogan.
slogan, yeah.
I don't know if you were aware of that. And the decline. Oh, they're saying in this case, "Make America great again" means "Make America white again," right? Um, Did you find a sign that said that at a Trump rally? Or did you find a sign that said "Make America Great Again" and you read it as "Make America White Again"? Okay, getting that clear. The decline of the white share of the U.S. population could result in the shifting of racial boundaries to assign whiteness to some people of color so as to bolster the white numbers.
No, you're gonna say that in a
You're the
couple of
ones doing.
years.
Oh, I know, but again, it's the quantum race. This guy, he's white.
I can guarantee I
He
know what they're
shoots
gonna say.
people, and because he's Hispanic, and they don't like guns. I mean, it depends. It's up in the air.
No, no, no.
Are they gonna? Is he gonna
This
be
is
white or is he gonna be Hispanic? His name is very Hispanic,
no.
so maybe
I'll
hard
bet
to
you
call him white.
this is what they're gonna say. If in a couple of years' time, or rather when, all of these people vote Republican, they're gonna say the lingering remnants of white supremacy has infected these people. I will bet you my life
Oh,
that is what they
it's
say.
internalized. They call it. They say it. They'll say if a person of color, to use their terminology, does something that does not align with their politics, they'll basically say that they have internalized
Oh,
racism,
shut up.
internalized white supremacy. Oh, I know.
Like I just
Like,
want to beat
look,
people who say these fucking
I'm
stupid
not
phrases.
I'm not a big fan of Candace Owens because I don't mean to hold grudges, and I really don't. I do not. I'm not the kind of person who holds grudges, but I find it very difficult to trust somebody after they start a website, the purpose of which is to seemingly catalog
Yeah,
people's
I don't
bad
trust her
things.
either. I think she's shady as shit.
It doesn't matter though. The point
Yeah.
is, she's a black lady, and I have seen the most racist shit be said about her by self-proclaimed progressives. And it's oh my god. You obviously don't actually care. This is the thing about that I have many issues with Jonathan Haidt's research. I'm not saying it's wrong. I actually really like Haidt's research, but there's so many areas, and I've spoken to Dr. Haidt about it in emails briefly. He probably doesn't remember, but it was a couple years ago about areas where it needed to be expanded. So you of course know moral foundations theory that Adam is so fond of. Um,
Yes.
Dr. Jonathan Haidt, of course, comes up with this. He says that everybody on Earth has the same 6 moral
Because
foundations,
Adam
but
has
we value them
basically
to
read
greater.
3 books in his entire life, and he gravitates towards them, make it his own
Well,
penis.
whatever. The
No offense.
no, yeah, don't be rude. But
I'm not being rude. This is like an
oh
observational
no.
thing. You know how many people have actually said that to me as well. It's true.
Yeah, well, okay. I would say Adam has like a couple, like 3, like primary sources that he tends to draw from a lot.
Yes.
Um,
It's
and
still
one of them
funny
is
though.
Jonathan Haidt. And Jonathan Haidt's research was, yeah, everyone's got these morals, but we value them to greater or lesser degrees. Everybody, certain, everybody values things, but we value them into different levels. One of the things that I have a question about on his instrument that I think needs to be retooled is the authority foundation. Because authority, the way it's currently written, is written like you're talking about respect for military, respect for parents. I think if you change that to respect for the party leader, do you know what I mean? Respect for political authority, I think you're going to see a really weird shift on the authority instrumentation. Because right now, leftists have very, very low concern for authority comparatively to conservatives. And I think if you retooled that instrument, you'd find vastly different results. But the reason I brought this up is because of this harm care thing. Leftists only have 2 foundations that they value. It's harm care and fairness. Harm/care, I should say. Excuse me. Harm/care and fairness, and that is the harm/care foundation. And another thing that I think needs to be retooled so we can really understand this better is I think leftists, yes, many of them really do care. They absolutely care when they want to help people and not see people suffer. But I think a significant portion, if not the majority, just want to be seen as caring, which is a social element, not an individual element. So we need to have the social psychology of this instrument taken into consideration, because it's like, would you? And it's so hard to do, even with anonymous surveying. It's so hard to get out. It'd be like, if nobody, I would like to have a question that's kind of like, and they might still lie.
These people live on
But
street cred.
that's what I mean. If the question is something like, would you give everything in your wallet to a homeless person if no one saw it, there was no documentation, and nobody believed that you had done it?
No.
And I think they might say yes, but would they?
No. Not a single one of them would.
No. Hang on. There are some real bleeding hearts out there, okay?
They're not liberals.
Not a lot of them. They are the actual liberals. There's just not a lot of them.
No, they're like the fucking Bill Maher types.
Yeah, Bill Maher.
Phony.
The Bill Maher type. Like, I generally like Bill Maher. Sometimes he says stuff that's so
Bill Maher is a phony fuck.
Yeah, I know. I just sometimes he says shit that's so dumb. He's like, he's one of these people where he's even said it as much, and I can't remember his exact quotation, but he basically said like that he's homeless. He's politically homeless because he's like, where the hell did the left go? Where did the liberals go? Right? He knows where the left went.
Their final destination.
Where the hell did the liberals go? There's no liberals left. The liberals that are left are conservatives now, in terms of liberal politically, and I mean that in the
classical tradition,
actual definitional sense, not in the American or British sense. What does liberal mean, right? So I guess more the British sense, right? Having a liberal series system of belief, of freedom and equality, not equity, equality.
Antiquated ideas, those are.
Very antiquated ideas in the current system. It's certainly not ones that are accepted by the modern left. So that's why I see why
just doing what you think is best for your own, and you don't give a shit about anybody else. Wow, that's very Randian.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Individuality.
Well, individuality is very scary to people.
I guess so.
But yeah, you live in a very collective society.
You know why?
So.
Well, you know why it's scary? Oh no, the consequences of my actions? People can't cope with that.
I don't even think it's that, to be honest. I think it's because
I think that is it. Because what do you find persistent in this? It's every single one of these weird leftoid movements is always denial of personal agency, or denial of somebody's agency. Black people need us to coddle them and treat that. I hate that shit. By the way, that shit makes me want to vomit.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's what you said, Ayla. I think it is a desperate desire to be seen.
That's it first and foremost. Yeah. That more than anything, particularly, let's be real, white women. And I'm gonna say it. White women have this deep desire for attention. Hello, I'm a white woman, by the way.
And that's women in general.
Talking on the internet in front of a crowd of people. A small but very. We have built a nice little community here, but nonetheless, white women love to be, and it's funny. Black people and these race scholar people will call it out in the performative white woman victimhood and shit, and whatever word they have for it. And even they know it. The problem is for these race grifters like Ibram X. Kendi or whoever who will call white women out on that bullshit. Also know that they need white women to get anything that they want. You cannot do anything without white women in a country that allows voting, right?
Also,
in a country like America that allows voting, yeah. Because white women you just play on their heartstrings. Show them a picture of a black baby who's sad, and they'll do anything.
I have very different reactions to that.
Have you never seen this shit? There's actually research on it. God, sorry, I said my catchphrase. There's research on that.
Yeah. I would say at this point, from my observation, the reason why white women need to do this shit is because that is the main way they got attention. Black women got attention by doing really stupid shit and being obnoxiously fucking loud.
I mean, it was a big thing
and that is
for a while.
That is an observable trait. Anyone who disagrees with me on that or says I'm racist, no, I've literally seen videos because when like the perfect example of this I did this in one of my first videos that I did.
Yeah.
This black woman with like a whole bunch of people at a table just like pick up her plate and just start throwing it across the restaurant, and one dude in the corner is throwing up gang signs and saying world stars. Like, this is why your society is shit. It's because instead of this crap, but this is like one of them. Like, any other person will see this and think this is a level of social interaction that would make me feel shame, and black people in America especially do not know what that means. They have no concept of shame.
Oh, some of them too. Come on,
None.
like Spoon. There are plenty of black people who do not like that shit.
Yeah,
But
they're
then they
called
become
Western sane
and what
ones.
happened? And you know what happens to those people? People like Candace, whatever you think of her. She made her bed though, so like she's a conservative now, whether we think she is or not. She's in the she's gonna be living with it forever. Candace Owens, the Hodge twins, people like that. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they don't
they're a
they don't
white
fall for this
passing
shit.
basically.
That's what I mean. Like, and one of the things is so frustrating to me about this entire sort of topic is that black people really do run the risk, more so than any other group, of being alienated from everybody in their life for coming out as conservatives, for being conservative, for being right wing.
No,
I
I
mean,
disagree.
I think it's really difficult for them to do that.
Yeah, the only people
Because a
that
lot
get
of
alienated by are other black people who are the
that's what I
lowest
mean. I
on
mean,
the
these people who are
society. Who gives a shit then? Their opinions are
it's
worthless.
a lot of times it's their family, dude.
Their family is shit then.
That's what I mean. I don't. That's sad to me,
I know, but
and that's
that's
why
just
it's hard, okay? And that's why it's
yeah, but
difficult
that's
for
just
black people to.
because they're gullible morons.
Mm.
Not their family. I mean, there's a political ideology. It's not a racial base. It's just the way that they are.
I think the Hodgman family are cool, but you know, yeah,
Oh, their family were
it's
very, very Democrat. If you
or
watch
were
them.
they?
Yeah, their family were uber Democrats.
Mm.
Yeah, it's only
Interesting.
when they grew up and they started watching Ben Shapiro. Because they said like they I think
International
uh
well-known neo-Nazi Ben Shapiro.
Kevin said that he hated Ben Shapiro because every time he spoke he was fucking right and it drove him nuts.
Okay,
And
here's the thing.
that's how they
Let's
became
say,
conservative.
hypothetically,
Oh, and Larry Elder as
you
well.
hypothetically, you've been a very bad girl. You've been a very bad, naughty girl. It looks like Daddy's going to have to punish you. Hypothetically, of course.
Is that a Ben Shapiro impression?
There was like a meme where somebody did that, yeah, and said like, let's say hypothetically, you've been a very bad girl.
I think his catchphrase is the very idea.
It's catchphrase. No,
That's his
it says
catchphrase.
hypothetically all the time. And let's say hypothetically, and then what's his other thing that he does all the time?
The very idea.
Oh yeah, the very idea. Right. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
that a lot.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. He's got a couple of lines that he uses a lot.
Yeah.
Mine is just, oh, there's research.
The very idea. That's
Okay.
that's classic Ben.
I will
I
never.
think mine is I do this thing where if it's very obvious I'll go yeah. I do that and
Yeah.
I have a specific way of saying moron.
Oh, you do say moron a lot.
Yes. But that's because
Alright,
if I'm
yeah.
doing any left-leaning news, it is just filled with nothing but moron. That's I can't get away from that.
Right, young kid Scooter said, "My wife is a doctor."
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that one he
that
says
that
all
is
the time.
definitely true.
My wife as a doctor had told me, you know. uh, Anywho, so my point
I'm
in
trying to
bringing this
think
up though is that
of
the
other
left
content creators that
constantly
have
celebrates that they think it's great. It's a great thing until they don't want to admit until it's a hoax, until it's a conspiracy theory.
I'm trying to think of any other people that I know that has a catchphrase, and Styx doesn't have one.
Sticks, clank.
Yeah,
It's not a catchphrase, but clank. You know.
no,
Spoon clank.
his one is he starts his
His
video and ends at the
catchphrase.
same.
His catchphrase is the spoon clank.
No, his catchphrase is no, not catchphrase, but he starts his thing with like, "All right, everyone."
All right,
That
everyone. Yeah.
yeah, and that's about all. Peace out. Razor
And that's
Fist
all.
has God fucking speed,
God fucking
which is the
speed.
best one. Yeah,
It's very good.
so many people have I've noticed have exits.
Everyone. When I started YouTube, right? This is gonna be kind of a self-own, but I'll tell you something. I spent like a week, reading a bunch of articles and stuff about like how to make a good YouTube video. And I watched YouTube all the time back then, even, you know, of course. So why did I do it? Political YouTube. And you're like, you need a catchphrase, you need a sign on or sign on or sign off, if or both. You need a consistent aesthetic, all this stuff, and I followed all those rules to a T. That's where Atlanta Bolt came from, because I was just like, well, I don't know what the hell to say, but the character's name is based on my Final Fantasy 11 character. And I don't want to say Deus Volt because people will get upset. So if I make it about a fucking Japanese video game, then they can't be like. And I still have people being like, "This is a white supremacist dog whistle." I'm like, me saying power, you know, power to the to a fictional goddess from a Japanese video game is a white supremacist dog whistle. Now, don't you look silly? Don't you feel a little bit stupid.
No, I don't know how that feels.
No, I'm quoting Sam Hyde.
You guys are drowning in stupid.
God, they sure are. Speaking of which, let's end the night with a little bit of
Oh,
monkeypox. Huh?
I sigh at the beginning of my videos.
Oh, you do sigh, yeah, you do that.
Yes,
You do a little
that's because I don't know how to start a video.
start.
Yeah, so I just say,
That's why I start my
yeah.
videos with comedic.
You will know what my video is based on
How deep the sigh
how
is.
deep the sigh is. Yes,
Yeah.
because if it's like that's lighthearted. If it's that's like oh god, Spoon's gonna yell.
And bad things are about to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
So,
Or if I'll even give you a warning. Because I've noticed that if something is really irritating me, I'll actually give a warning and just say, look, I'm gonna swear a lot. So if swearing is
I
off-putting to
have an
you,
unironic trigger warning in my new video.
yeah, I would just tell you. And
I thought it was necessary.
I've noticed
I wouldn't
people
do it. I didn't think it was necessary.
I've noticed people like that if I give a warning because then they know it's gonna be good. And
I haven't.
that is so not the
No,
intention of me doing that. That is the
it's
exact
not.
opposite of what I'm trying to intend. But like, no,
But now,
this is to give you a warning. It's gonna be horrible, not like, oh,
right.
Spoon's gonna swear a lot. Happy days. Like, no, but
But I do have an unironic. I didn't call it a trigger warning, but it is a trigger warning in my new video. I put it right in the beginning. I was like, look, if you can't, if these topics are upsetting, and I understand why they'd be upsetting, you probably don't want to watch this video. So, and I don't think that that's cucked or lame for saying. When it concerns DV and IPV, also words I can't say that I do not say in the video because Susan won't let me. One and two because it can. We're talking about okay. I'll say we're on stream, so I can say it. And we've been going for long enough that I'm allowed to say what I want, which is domestic violence and intimate partner violence.
wait,
That's
can I say
DV and
certain F
IPV.
word?
I don't know. We're probably gonna get demonetized anyway, considering the things we talked about. But
But has it been demonetized yet?
I don't know. Let me check. Probably. Let's see. Where are we at? I've got my content over here. Oh yeah, we're already demonetized. Well,
Faggot.
we are limited ads, right? Of course.
There, people have been wanting me to say the F word for fucking ages. There you go.
There was. And Asno
It's only
Surin
been
for
like 3
5
months.
said Elven supremacist dog whistle as it should be. I wasn't an Elvon though. I was a Hume or Hume. I was just never sure how it was pronounced.
How long have people wanted me to say that word
Fast
now?
talk for life. Fast Stokers. Let's go.
People have been wanting me to say that word for fucking ages.
I know.
Well, there you go.
Anywho,
I hope that lives up
speaking
to your
of
expectations, people.
speaking of dumb shit, I don't have a good segue. Pfizer CEO downplays monkeypox outbreak fears. I wouldn't worry much.
That's a relief.
So I'm sure you've all heard that that COVID is so 2021. We are now in the era of monkeypox. Okay? Yay. Pfizer boss Alberta Bula said he isn't concerned about a widening monkeypox outbreak after confirmation of the first stateside case triggered alarm bells this week. Bula, who helmed the pharmaceutical giant throughout its development of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, said Wednesday the monkeypox data he's seen thus far is not cause for panic. I don't have all the information ahead of me. With everything I know, I wouldn't worry much, Bula said during an interview with CNBC and the World Economic Forum in Davos. Of course, that doesn't mean we should relax. He added, I think we should monitor where the situation goes. Borla added that monkeypox clearly doesn't transmit as much as other viruses, including COVID, and there were solutions available if caseload became more widespread. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health confirmed Tuesday that an adult man had contracted the disease, cases of which are rare outside of Central and West Africa. Officials said the patient was in good condition and that the case poses no risk to the public. Nevertheless, the CDC and prevention, CDC said more than 200 people were being tracked, scary, within the state due to their contact with the patient. Symptoms of monkeypox can include unexplained skin rash or lesions, fever, and chills. Suspected monkeypox cases have also been spotted in other states, including California. Earlier this week, President Biden suggested that monkeypox outbreak was something that everybody should be concerned about. We're working on it to figure out what we can do and what vaccine, if any, may be available for it, Biden added, but it is a concern in the sense that if it were to spread, it's consequential. So that's where we're at, right? That's a little bit of a overview. Here's an interesting thing.
No one is believing.
Here's something interesting, though.
Which is?
I'll send you a science article. Don't worry if that if it looks daunting. I'm gonna tell you the important part. The reason I have sent you this is that okay. Can I link you to a particular part of the article? That
Why
would
is there
be
a dog barking outside?
See, just search this statement and go to this paragraph where this is in it. But I want to show you something. And everybody's something. This is very interesting. It's just interesting.
Okay, go on.
Okay, I think this is the part, yes. One sec. Now I lost it. Okay. Previously, there had been one reported outbreak of human monkeypox in Nigeria in the 70s, and after that, 3 sporadic cases were reported before the onset of the 2017 epidemic. The chains of transmission investigated in the current outbreak suggest a primary infection contracted from an animal with subsequent human-to-human transmission. Does that sound familiar at all? We're going to get into it. This is an adenovirus. Human-to-human transmission has been demonstrated among family contacts and in prison populations, but human-to-human chain links appear to be short at 1 to 3 individuals in each link, although this requires more analysis. Monkeypox laboratory diagnosis by PCR has been established by the NCDC and suggests that young male adults are the most affected. A case fatality rate of 5.6% has been recorded, with most deaths among HIV-infected patients. The case fatality rate, excluding those with HIV infection, is reported as less than 2%. Persons vaccinated prior to 1980 have 5-fold lower risks of monkeypox compared to those who had not been vaccinated. Human-human transmission, because there is a vaccine for this, by the way, so it's not as financially interesting as another disease. Human-human transmission of monkeypox is now regularly observed, and the disease has become more common. Risk factors for infection are unclear, with confirmed animal. This is the important part that I want to bring up. Confirmed animal-to-animal contact in approximately 10% of cases, while the prevalence of asymptomatic infection, should it occur, remains unknown. Sexual transmission has been hypothesized for some cases with genital and groin lesions. The current research focus in Nigeria is on the epidemiological risk factors, animal reservoirs, and HIV co-infection. Control and prevention measures include education, personal hygiene, drawing on known epidemiology and risk factors. Vaccination has been considered for healthcare workers in treatment centers, but was not initiated. Human monkeypox is being added to routine disease surveillance protocols, with genomic studies and serological surveys being planned. Additional questions that could be examined include transmission routes from human to human and the natural history of dual monkeypox/HIV infection. It seems, according to these early studies, that they were finding a correlation between monkeypox and HIV. Doesn't mean one causes the other, whatever. There's an interesting correlation there between monkeypox and HIV. I'm weaving a narrative here. I don't know what it is. I don't know if any of this it matters. I'm not trying to weave a narrative, if it sounds like I am, but I am going to walk us down this road. I sent you another article called from the Scientific American from February. Discovery of new HIV variant sends warnings for COVID pandemic. Let me know when you have it up.
There we go. Thank you, Cook.
Do you see where I'm going with this yet?
A little bit.
Infectious disease expert William A. Hasseltine cautions that a coronavirus variant could emerge with the transmissibility of Omicron and the deadliness of the original SARS. SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID, has spread throughout the world. Many observers had failed to take note of the millions of illnesses and deaths caused by HIV, another virus that has approached pandemic status during its history. Now an HIV variant is more virulent and transmissible has been discovered in the Netherlands. Oh, it's your fault. As usual, the Dutch. Where it apparently has been circulating for decades, according to new research. Luckily, none of the variant's new mutations make it resistant to widely used therapies, but the finding may offer a warning for how the COVID pandemic could proceed in the coming months. Viruses do not necessarily evolve to become milder. They're talking about COVID here, obviously, in that part, but I'm not going to read all of it. Without treatment, people infected newly with HIV variant have more than 3 to more than 5 times higher levels of the virus in their blood, making them more infectious. Plus, their immune system deteriorates twice as fast, setting them on a course to potentially develop AIDS years earlier than people with earlier versions or with other versions of HIV, excuse me. These findings published this month in Science indicate the newfound variant carries more than 500 mutations scattered across its genome, although it is unclear how they enable the virus to cause more severe disease. All right, we've got a new HIV variant. There is a correlation between monkeypox and HIV, right? Let's keep going. I'm a New York Post article now. We're already demonetized, so I'm gonna go ahead with this. Okay, because why not? Also, the void that bites for 2, real quick. 20 on a Pride Month, a Pride Month monkeypox spike. Thank you. Here's this article from New York Post. Some COVID-19 vaccines could increase risk of HIV, researchers warn. Some coronavirus vaccine candidates currently under development it could increase susceptibility to HIV, a group of researchers has warned. A modified virus being used in 4 COVID-19 vaccine contenders, called the adenovirus, ED5, have been shown to increase transmission of AIDS. In the past, the researchers wrote in a cautionary tale published in The Lancet, that is the premier medical journal in the United States and across the world. Adenoviruses, a common virus which causes a range of illness, including the common cold, are sometimes genetically engineered and used to create inoculations, vaccines. But the 85 strain used in potential HIV vaccination a decade ago was found to make some men more vulnerable to HIV in placebo-controlled trials, according to Science. It's unclear why the 85 increased the risk of HIV infection in the trial, but following these findings, the National Institutes of Health, led by Dr. Anthony Fauci, recommended against using the strain in vaccines. However, I do think some of the vaccines that are on the market do use are these adenovirus. We're based on this adenovirus research. Okay. I know. Is this boring to you? Is this killing you? Because I'm gonna get into the science now.
Yeah,
I think you know. I think you know where I'm going. But I'm weaving a story
you're
here.
beating a dead horse, Ed, and you're trying to say that yes.
Story.
Well, it's not a difficult story to freaking grasp. We're trying to say that this is going to harm people that have taken the fucking vaccine. Like, yeah, we could tell you that like a half hour ago.
Is a study from the National Library of Medicine.
Like there's leading questions, and then there's holy sweet Jesus, Aiden. The horse is dead already. It's glue already.
No,
stop beating it.
I'm just gonna read the abstract. I'm not gonna read the whole study. I have read the whole study, but I'm not going to. Structural similarity between HIV-1 GP41, that's a marker on the virus, and SARS-CoV-2 S2 protein suggests an analogous membrane fusion mechanism. SARS-associated coronavirus has been identified as the causal agent of a new emerging disease, severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS. Its spike protein, S2, is responsible for mediating fusion of viral and cellular membrane. In this study, we modeled the 3D structure of S2 subunit and compared this model to the core structure of GP41, that's, again, part of the cell, from HIV. We found that SARS-CoV-2 and GP41 share the same 2 alpha helices, suggesting that the 2 viruses could follow analogous membrane fusion mechanism. Further, ligand binding analysis showed the 2 inhibitors, the GGL and D peptide from HIV-1, GP41, may serve as inhibitors for SARS-CoV-2 entry. All right, I got one more, until one more science berg, and then we'll get into something that you might find interesting related to this. One more science article here from PubMed. Hang on. But at least something that it's not just me reading abstracts, okay? And again, I'm not saying anything here definitively, guys. I'm just saying there's some weird stuff going on with the monkeypox and the HIV stuff. The similarity between HIV-1 and SARS-CoV suggests an anti-SARS strategy. Severe acute. Why I keep saying that? Severe acute respiratory syndrome. SARS is a febrile respiratory illness. The disease has been etiologically linked to a novel coronavirus that has been named the SARS-associated SARS-CoV, whose genome was recently sequenced. Since it's a member of the coronavirus Coronaviridae, its spike protein S2 is believed to play a central role in viral entry by facilitating fusion between the viral and host cell membranes. The protein responsible for viral-induced membrane fusion of HIV GP41 differs in length but has no sequence in homology with S2. Sequence analysis revealed that the two viral proteins share the same sequence motifs that construct their active conformation. These include 1, the N-terminal leucine and isoleucine zipper-like sequence, and 2, C-terminal heptad repeat located upstream of 3, an aromatic residual rich region juxtaposed onto the 4 transmembrane segment. That's a bunch of shit. There's a link between COVID and HIV and HIV and monkeypox. That's all I'm gonna say. That's just some correlations. But Spoon, that's just a bunch of science bullshit, right? Who could be behind this?
Are you linking me all like every single fucking time I gotta do this? It's piss me off.
It's the last one.
Oh, it's sakes.
There's no more science. I'm asking you a question. Who do you think could be behind this? It's natural, right? The infamous Wuhan lab recently assembled monkeypox strains using methods flagged for creating contagious pathogens. Oh no! Oh no! Who could have seen this coming? The study was first published in February of 2022, just months before the latest international outbreak of monkeypox cases, which appears to now have reached the United States. The paper, which was authored by 9 of Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers and published in the lab's quarterly scientific journal, Virological Sinica, also follows the wide-scale use of polymerase chain reactors, PCR, tests to identify COVID-19 positive individuals. Researchers appeared to identify a portion of the monkeypox virus genome, enabling PCR tests to identify the virus in the paper. Efficient assembly of a large fragment of monkeypox virus genome as a qPCR template using a dual selection-based transformation-associated recombination. Monkeypox viruses, referred to as MPXVs, in the paper have strains that are more pathogenic and have been reported to infect humans in various parts of the world. Quantitative PCR is the gold standard for the detection of orthopox virus, including MXP. I'm losing my ability to speak. MPXV. For pan-orthopox virus detection, the E9L DNA polymerase gene has been shown to be an excellent target for qPCR analysis or assays. For MPXV detection, Lee et al. Report that the 63L component binding protein gene could be used as a PCR. Who really cares? Nerd speak, right? Since MPXV infection has never been associated with an outbreak in China, the viral genomic material required for qPCR detection is unavailable. In this report, we employed dual selective TAR to assemble a 55 kilobit MPXV genomic fragment that encompasses the E9L and C3L to available PCR targets for detecting MPXV and other orthopox viruses. An efficient tool for assembling large DNA fragments up to 592 kilobits in length. Sorry, this is really nerdy. The point is, that's a little interesting, right? The Wuhan lab has just published this big piece of work on doing PCR tests on monkeypox. Publishes it in February. I'm just saying it's curious. What do you think? I thought maybe you were getting really sleepy. Okay. Well, alright. I think that was the end anyway. I just wanted to give you guys something to think about there at the end on my long scientific tirade, I guess, of I'm just reading reports. I didn't say anything. I didn't speculate about anything. I just read a series of abstracts and bits of information and nothing else. Right? Susan, I didn't do anything. I didn't even imply anything. I just read a couple articles in order. Anywho. It is getting late. It's 12:15 here. Thank you guys so much for showing up and hanging out with us for a couple hours. A couple things to point out before we leave, we close out. There is a link to the Discord. It should be in the description down below. Also, if you'd like to hang out on Discord, I think I might be on for a little bit tonight. In addition to that, oh, I did not include the link, but I will include it right now. I do have new merch for the show, which is on my thingy, which is, what's it called? Oh. Hang on. I'm gonna go find it on Teespring. Post the Teespring link. That has the channel logo and stuff like that if you are interested for whatever reason. There it is. Also, one last thing. If you want to support the channel in any way and help us out, you can also now become a member. Membership gives you new emojis if you want to shit post. I will add more. These are the only ones I have yet, but I need to get on that and make some more emojis. Anywho, that's about it for the week. Oh, next week I think I can go ahead and confirm, because this has been confirmed, we'll be having Hard Bastard on the stream, who I've known for years and years. Good friend. That should be fun. I think we're just going to kind of cover news topics as usual. I don't think there'll be anything weird about it. Just be nice to have him on so we can shoot the shit about news. Anywho, thank you, Spoon. I know you're getting sleepy, so let's go ahead and head out. Anything you want to plug or talk about before we leave? Wait, what? What are you gonna do? Oh, he's right. Spoon is rendering something, a interior. It looks very cool. It looks very cool. It still looks cool. Anywho, I think we're done then for the night. I will be in the Discord for a little bit just to say hi if you guys want to hang out for a little bit. I've been off all day. I don't know, like I've just felt wrong, but I'll be around for a little bit. Yeah, Patricia's Hard Bash and I dated like years ago, but this is years ago. You know what I mean? He's a very cool guy. It'd be nice that we haven't talked on stream in a long time, so that'd be fun to have him on to shoot the shit about news. Anywho, yeah, I think that's it for us. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful week.